And I'm excited about the topic. I think this Lord Jamar and Godfrey beef may be a boule psyop. I got a video coming up on my main channel. I'm gonna be going into that. I'm gonna be really putting my foot on the neck of the 5% nation for claiming God body in Islam and going after the ancestors, and going after the ancient cosmology, because you can't have the concept of Islam or God body on the Greeks models. You can't be a God body claiming black dude subscribing to the reality of the Greeks because they didn't believe in a God body.
Right. Already. That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff. And you the only one that's gonna catch it like that. You know what I'm talking about? You calling people out you calling people out for it. You know what I'm talking about? And so
Facts.
let me ask you this. Now that the Lord Jamar, now that he messed with the flat earth, what is that what do 5%ers believe about the flat earth? You know what I'm talking about? Like, is he
Well,
going against 5%ers?
well, the whole thing about it is this, man. Far as my understanding, right? You can be a 5%er and subscribe to any of the Abrahamic faiths, meaning we normally think to be a 5%er, you got to be a Muslim. But I don't think it's that cut and dry. I'm not sure. There may be Hebrew 5%ers. Shut me in, JR. Thank you. You may have Hebrew 5%ers. You may have more. I'm pretty sure there are some Moorish 5%ers. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think all 5%ers agree on history as far as black people. I'm pretty sure they don't agree on who God is if they got different faiths. But basically, 5%ers don't got to always agree on everything. But what we're finding out now is you can't be a 5%er and think the earth flat, which is very interesting. We can learn a lot from that. Because the video that I was reviewing, I'm not going to be reviewing it here. But I'll be, basically the 5% nation is saying we lost respect for Jamar for saying the earth is flat. That's crazy because they didn't lose respect for Jay-Z for doing black people wrong and signing a deal with the NFL behind niggas' backs and all the cutthroat. Like in the 5% nation, AJ, you got a lot of rich niggas. That's 5%ers, And the brotherhood ain't gonna call them niggas out just like the NOI ain't gonna call Farrakhan out for calling a white man a devil, but you got a contract with him. You do business with him. Y'all eat together. So if the white man a devil, then you doing deals with the devil.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing with Lord Jamar. It's like, y'all call a white man a devil, but if I ask you anything about the universe, black man, you go to this white devil for his information about your world. So they can't
I think
really,
it's crazy.
yeah.
I think it's crazy whenever somebody is at a certain level and then they stumble upon the flat earth model and they subscribe to it, how things change. I used to always think he was kind of, I was 50-50 on was really attacked, is really attacking. But it seems just another example when somebody beyond that, they people don't mess with them no more. They, like you said, they fall off. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I think that's the most interesting part of people going against them. Like I said, they wasn't going against this person when they was at, and like you said, they already knew who Lord Jamar was, but now all of a sudden he's this and he's that. You know what I'm talking about? And none of that stuff happened until he was on that flat earth. Because I remember Lord Jamar was on his way up. Him and and Rod Digger, they had their little show going, and he had a little podcast going, and it was going down. You know what I'm saying? I used to mess with Lord Jamar like that. You know what I'm saying? As soon as he started getting on that flat earth, bro, it's almost like people just started not even wanting to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't see him as much. Like some of the topics he was on, they was going against it, even though it made plenty of sense. You know what I'm saying? It just changed afterwards, bro. It changed.
And that's what I'm here basically to ask the people, like, uh, exactly why is Jamar being canceled?
I actually had I actually was thinking whenever he had that debate, because I didn't realize that he got kind of cornered into it, got kind of kind of surprised them with who they was bringing up there. Because my opinion at first is he kind of made it look bad. You know how people get to want to talk about flat Earth and don't really have all the information and don't be hitting the points like they supposed to. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
I actually kind of thought he made it look bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you fucking up the flat Earth, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're right, but the thing is this, yeah, Lord Jamar is one of those guys where he's a flat earther, but he ain't the best guy to teach it. You got a lot of globe earthers that believe in the globe, and I can teach it better than them. You see what I'm saying? And so it shows when they try to debate me, and I even call it out like, man, this ain't even debate, this ain't even right. But I'm just saying, like, that don't debunk the flat earth. You know, get somebody up there. You calling this dude a professor, and you got a gangster nigga up here debating
you got
a professor.
A street nigga up there,
Right. Like you some kind of friend, Godfrey. You're a real good friend. The fact that you brought in a white professor to embarrass your fucking homeboy on something,
partner,
right, man? Right. You know what I'm saying? That people think that Jamar the one that's at fault. Hell no, that's some tether stuff that Godfrey do. They ain't loyal like FBA. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying, bro. Shout out to Nasir, Enemies Public, Nation of Islam in the house. Big shout out to Jay Scaramella. And a big shout out to Ironwork in the house. Appreciate y'all. Ironwork said, hey, cuz, flat power. They want to shame black folks for hovering over truth again. Sanchez hit me up. You already know we got to do our thing. If you want to join this one too, you can join with us here. But yeah, it's basically a psyop. The elite, the way they work, if there's something they want to get rid of, they attach it to a person and they make that person perform what they call a humiliation ritual. And it actually, anything that person is attached to will be humiliated within that ritual. And they will make sure. So, you know, let's say they wanted to push back on non-voters. They'll go get the most ghetto, ratchet, ignorant sounding Negro to go out there and be like, voting is stupid. Your vote don't matter. And he will make all the wrong arguments about why you shouldn't vote. And it'll just make the no voting movement look crazy. They do that all the time, and it be one of they guys.
Rather than going and getting somebody who really know what they talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
Peace, brother.
Peace and love, Enemies Public. Let it be known that the Nation of Islam is not my enemy. I just point out things about black people in general that I find hypocritical. But I must say, because the Enemies Public is on, he's NOI, that, you know, I don't have no problems with the Nation of Islam. But if I do say some things that you want to school me or correct me on, I'm all ears, Brother Nasir. But yeah, I'm going to turn the mic over for y'all.
But LJ, Lord Jamar, I don't think he was ready to actually go and debate something he was just getting into. Yeah. He didn't do enough studying on that. And at the same time, he was ambushed. He was ambushed when it came to that debate. But I think he should have, if you ask Key would tell you. I told Key Norfolk, I said he should have called Bro Sanchez.
Yeah, man.
That's why I said he should have called you. He should have consulted with you before he took any type of debate.
But he didn't take it. That's why I said, oh, my bad. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah.
He didn't take the debate officially, but he engaged.
Yeah, you're right.
He shouldn't have engaged.
Damn sure right. I see what you're saying. Because then they would have had to come get somebody that's on the topic. Now, they couldn't have had their hit piece. That's a big fact. Hey, shout out to Ironwork and shout out to my brother Key Norfolk for joining. You just spoke up, Candyman. Nasir, salutes to y'all.
Salute to y'all, good brothers, man. Much love and respect. Peace and power.
Much appreciate you, family. Thank you.
And so anybody who knew anything about flat Earth too, like somebody that was kind of well scripted in it, really would have killed that dude. That dude wasn't really nobody special. You know what I'm talking about? Like anybody who really knew a little something, man, it was plenty of time where like Lord Jamar could have killed him with certain hits. He just wasn't hitting the right points. You know what I'm saying? Because dude was saying some dumb shit. And if anybody, any basic flat earther who know a little bit, just a little
I would have killed him.
Would have slaughtered that dude.
But LJ is into the ciphers, the building. He's not into he's not into debating. He, when you're in the ciphers and you're building that's, in the 5% nation, you are adding on.
Nasir, let me ask you a quick question. I swear I'm not trying to cut you off, my brother. I gotta ask you this because you speak in facts. Lord Jamar is not no damn anybody tell you he ain't a debater. He ain't no nerd. He's not even a nerd. But check this out. Don't Godfrey should know that if that's your homeboy?
Godfrey. That's why I say he was ambushed.
Right.
That's why I say it, because those dudes, they did, he was on before Godfrey did his. Well, I don't know who did what first, but they were on each other's platforms frequent. I know Godfrey was on the God, you call it whatever the Godcast is. He was on that.
Yeah, it's like in Godfrey We Trust.
Yeah, that's what the thing is.
Godfrey We Trust. He was also on the Godcast with Rod Digger. It was 3 of them.
Did you see the after effects though? Did you see the after effects of what that did, like in the Black community? All them channels. But first of all, shout out to y'all. Thanks for having me on. Much appreciated, bro.
I'm so glad you joined. This is the perfect panel. I'm honored to have y'all brothers on. All the brothers that's on right now for this topic. This is a dream come true for me. So I appreciate y'all.
Thank
you,
brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
But yeah, like, did you see all those other channels that were out there talking mess about Lord Jamar and any other black person that believed that the earth is flat? And that just, like, I knew that was coming. That was coming. And just how black people shame each other when we're right there. We're right at the truth.
Yeah.
And then they just shame you for believing that. And then they're like, saying that Hotep nonsense, like, oh, don't you know that we taught the white man about the globe and this and that? And I'm like, oh,
bull
my
crap.
God, this Hotep nonsense. Exactly.
You know what you saying, Vlad, man, it's so deep what you saying, Ironwork, because they do say that. They said we taught the white man the globe. Then when you ask them about gravity and all that, they bring up Newton, Copernicus. Like, hold up. I thought we taught them, Yeah. Facts, bro. Big old facts, man.
But Blacklight, we got a channel, Blacklight VA. He brought up a really good point. So I know earlier you were talking on your other channel about how Lord Jamar was on Vlad TV, which sucks because this dude got my name. But he was on Vlad TV show, and that just looks crazy. But he brought up a point that maybe he might be sick. Lord Jamar might be sick, and he's just trying to get the bag. I'm not trying to detract from the conversation, but I'm just trying to
part of it. That's important to bring up because on one aspect, we got the flat earth thing going that can be a potentially psyop. Let me lay this down real quick, Vlad, to all y'all brothers. Let me run this by this panel. So we got one scenario where this may be a psyop to where, man, these two brothers, we liked them together and they fell out because of some dumb flat earth. Now that can be another hit piece on flat earth. And then eventually them cats can get back together and say, you know what, man, I'm not going into the flat earth thing no more. It costed me a friendship, boom, boom, boom. That's a scenario. That's where it's kind of leading to. That'll be a big blow on the flat earth, I ain't gonna lie. Because it's like, this one ain't really an argument you making. It's more of, this is what flat earth can cost you subconsciously. This is how the 5% nation is treating Jamar like they casting him out like he not even a brother, and they taking the Professor Dave side. It's weird, man. And you know,
but But I'm sorry to cut you off, Sanchez.
No,
Keep going. I didn't want.
I'm gonna land right here because this was to what you were saying when you brought up
Yeah.
the Vlad thing. I think that can all be bleeding together to make the side even more look like
Even stronger.
Jamar ain't for his people, and he on the flat Earth stuff too. All of that is like anti-black, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Brother Sanchez, what's the brother's name that you said that exiled LJ?
I'm finna pull it up now. Hey, salutes to y'all. Hey, we about to get to the bottom of a lot of this shit tonight. I just know it, bro. Hey, listen, this dude name, his name KOJ. Nasir, he's dead. He's former bodyguard.
Let me say something really quick. A lot of the brothers in the 5% Nation, they're one of the reasons why they are going at LJ the way they're going at him, because he's actually, with Flat Earth, is going against the lessons. That's one of the reasons he's going against the lessons, because the lessons teach contrary to what he's teaching.
But if they listen to Jamar, they'll see they've been teaching their own lessons, just like all the false teachings with the Vatican, all of these pastors in the pulpit. They've been misinterpreting these scripts and Bibles. They ain't speaking this Bible through the reality of the ancient people that wrote it. So when Jamar talking, speaking from a flat earth perspective, keep in mind, all of the 5% teachings and symbols are supposed to be ancient teachings, ancient symbols. So how do they got modern Greek philosophy in their foundation of reality? They cannot begin to decode the symbols behind their group until they dive into flat earth, and that goes for Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, and all of them. They will never understand the deep teachings about these gods, the God body, the astral plane, and all that until they look at reality through the eyes of the people that wrote all this shit to begin with.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm just stating that.
I got you. Yeah.
These brothers, they still believe that. They believe that
belief systems.
They believe what they're teaching is right and exact, and LJ is going against that. And so that's the reason why. I'm just stating the reason why they're doing it.
And I'm going to tell you this. I don't even think they believe what they teaching is right and exact. I believe they believe, hey, this is just what the fuck we teach, and if you go against it, it's going to be problem. Like, it's a lot of groups out there. It ain't necessarily that they believe what they teaching is factual or not. This is what our group teach, and I'm a part of it, and it's like gangbanging, man. Hey, like Democrats and Republicans. A Democrat don't believe 100% that the liberals got it all right, and the same with the Republicans, but they ain't gonna say that. The Trump supporter ain't gonna tell you one damn thing that they don't like about Trump. They gonna make it like everything he do right, just like the Christians about their God in the Bible, the Muslims about Allah, and this is just a religious cult-like mentality that we was born into. And I think once you wake up inside of a cult, you realize, damn, I was in a cult my whole life, because look how they tripping on me just for saying the earth flat, but I can go out there and say green aliens real. I can go out there and say Bigfoot real. All that.
Yep.
Facts. If you look at
the news,
Zion,
and the news will back you up.
Right.
The whole Zionist movement with the Scientology and the space program. If you look at Africa Bambaataa, his whole concept was, bringing forth that whole, space agenda they have. And this is a Zionist movement. So we really gonna get to the bottom of this tonight. I appreciate being on the panel with you, brother.
Yeah,
man.
But you know what's funny? You mentioned the Zionist movement. You know what's real funny is how the Zionists, specifically like in those big institutions, the MITs, the Harvards, the Yales, just look at who the leadership is, right? Look at who the top brass is over there. And the institutions that they run, these are Ivy League schools. Some of what they claim is the best of the best. You could get the same education anywhere else, right? But these people run like the biggest and the best schools, supposedly. Yeah, and they push this nonsense. They push that nonsense.
These the black gate guards. And like Sanchez said, even though they're pushing this, they don't believe this is true and factual, but it's to be socially or politically correct. So when you're not socially or politically correct, they gotta out you and they gotta make you a target. That's what they doing to Jamar right now, man. Peace of power to that brother.
And it's
brother, I beg to differ because some of those brothers was in this his lifetime. You know, as far as I wholeheartedly think those brothers believe what they're teaching is to be right and exact.
You know what? Because you saying they was born into it, Nasir?
Some of these brothers was born in it.
I see what you're saying.
Some of these brothers was in it for decades.
I agree with you on that.
Whole lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So these brothers live this.
I got you.
You know, and they don't believe in religion. They believe the black man is God.
That's a religion, though.
Yeah, that's a religion.
You know, the thing about belief system, the only thing about the world, why the world is a big psyop, because everybody believe this, believe that, believe this, believe that. It's something very special about a flat earther. A flat earther is a person that reaches a point in their life where they just get tired of believing shit.
Yes.
They just want to know it or not know it. Because belief system really got us in this crazy spot in the world, man. But let me give a shout out to Dan Tanner and to Fela B. Dan Tanner said, "What up, bro? I'm rocking with you over here. Alabama all day for sure, man. Appreciate that love." And shout out to Fela B. Longest train rail in Australia is 297 miles with no curve. You know something else, right? Speaking of this whole flat earth fallout thing, a lot of the 5%ers and these hoteppers and stuff, they now got the lie like the ancestors were always globe earthers, because they've made their whole identity around the ancient world up until it come to what the people taught about the shape of the earth.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Y'all think this shit is psyop, yo? Like, I know this, you know, I know Nasir, bro. Just think about this, right? Could it be a possibility that this whole fallout between Dave, Godfrey, Jamar is orchestrated as a hit piece against Flat Earth? That's one of my little theories. Let's throw that one on the table. What y'all think about that? Is that a reach or what?
I don't think so. I think that was genuine. And I feel Lord Jamar feels slighted by Godfrey.
Yeah.
I think that was real. I think that was for real.
It was ironwork. I think it was real. And, you know, he was ambushed.
Right.
With a debate he thought he could handle, and he engaged. Yeah. He would, you know, he was less than unprepared, bro. Less than unprepared to deal with, you know, with whoever that doctor was, the white guy. He thought he can go against the dude, and the dude, you know, mopped the floor with him because he was less than prepared.
Here's the thing, I'll be honest now. Lord Jamar didn't lose the debate. He just couldn't. He couldn't articulate himself as good as Professor Dave. And in a lot of cases, I'm gonna tell you some real shit, because I'm from Alabama. And we talk like crap in Alabama. I'm talking about we talk, when it comes to the English language, we mess it all up in Alabama. But check this out. It's a lot of inventors and wise people from Alabama and from the South. Yes. And whenever the white man wanted to belittle them, he couldn't assault their intelligence like George Washington Carver. He always would say, "You're broken English. You the way you articulate yourself, right?" But see, remember, Elvis was able to say "thank you very much" and get props, and he didn't speak proper English. You know, I'm just saying. You know,
it's brothers who can barely speak, and were able to invent things. Were able to establish organizations. I'm gonna say it. Elijah Muhammad, he only went to the third. He only went past the third grade. And he's able to build a nation. Okay, he taught Malcolm. A man that only went to the 4th grade taught Malcolm. I'll leave it right there.
Right.
But how did y'all feel? How did y'all feel after that? I guess you could say that craziness that went down on in Godfrey We Trust, that episode. Because I know how I felt. Because Sanchez, you brought up a real good point. He didn't lose that debate, right? If you want to call it a debate, because everything he said, it was valid. Right. Just about until you talk about the firmament, which, you know what I'm saying? That I guess you could say that's debatable. But everything he said, like, it was valid. But it's the way in which he said it. So, like, enemies public, like, I hear exactly what you're saying. But how did you feel after he said it? Did you feel like embarrassed? Did you feel like, oh man, y'all had the wrong dude? Like, tell me, how did you feel? How did y'all feel?
Okay. I felt like he should have consulted someone or don't engage. Don't engage him just yet, because this dude came prepared. You didn't come prepared. It's not like the brother said. It's not that he lost. He was unable to elaborate. Unable to do that. He was just saying things and not being able to follow up on what he was saying, because to say something and not be able to prove it make you weak and ineffective. He was ineffective. You can tell the truth, but if that truth is questioned, you can't give no understanding of the truth that you're speaking. You know what I'm saying? Now you got two people who don't understand, because you don't understand yourself. He knows, but he don't understand. He has to understand what he's talking about before he go out and try to teach.
You know what? He understand it, but not on a level to teach it to others. You know what was crazy? I'm agreeing with you. It's like Lord Jamar, right? How can I say this, man? He know it in his head, but knowing something and teaching it is two whole different things. And so the whole thing with Lord Jamar in that debate is he didn't really show up, like you said, prepared. But the problem was why he didn't turn the fade down is because, like, if a person show up ready to fight and you say, well, hold up, I'm not ready today, that may make you look soft. But you may need to do that if your ankle sore or something. You may lose the fight. You ain't ready. I'm just saying, if you meet the dude again, it's a fair fight. Boom. But my whole thing, why I agree with you, like, yeah, Lord Jamar knew he wasn't ready, but at the same time, the whole purpose of an ambush is so you can't be ready. But at the same time, you still engage in a debate, because if you don't, you're gonna look weak. You're gonna look coward.
That's the truth, bro. I agree with that, because that's the reason why I train. I stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
Yep.
But see, you got to think about this, though. Why the hell would Lord Jamar have that mentality when he just relaying some to his homeboy? Right? A person that, if I'm telling my, like when I decided that you know, when I decided Jesus wasn't real, when I'm relaying it to my friends and stuff, I didn't even think I would end up in hour-long debates and shit and yelling matches when I wanted to share my newfound. You realize, hey, man, sometime I may need to keep shit to myself to keep a friendship, and that sucked, because if you can't tell it to your friend, is it your friend or your cult member?
That was wrong how that went down, bro. That was wrong.
Yep. Ooh, I'll tell you what's worse than that. Was when Dave went the second time. Y'all remember when he went the second time and Jamar wasn't there? It was the fat dude. It was that fine chick. And when Dave went the second time, did you hear how he ended that show? Did you hear what he said?
It was like he checking a Negro, yeah.
Well, he was like, oh, you know, it's important that we bring intelligence and information or some shit like that to the black community. And that's what I'm here for. I said, "Oh my God,
that's so crazy."
Devil in the house.
So disrespectful, man.
Yeah, that was disrespectful.
It's like, soon as a black man start thinking outside the box and question, you got to think about this. For all the black people who siding with Dave and going against Jamar, remember this now: the moment y'all say we ain't all come over here during the transatlantic slave trade. The transatlantic slave trade ain't what they telling us. Black people always been here. The moment y'all try to say that, they're gonna bring out the white historian to make you look stupid, and that just like they did with Jamar, and you're gonna realize we was all together and we should have had each other back, whether you agreed with a nigga or not. We all questioning what we've been told. We can work it out together.
Exactly.
They bring the dude from Harvard, from African white dude from African American Studies in Harvard.
I mean, you know, my sentiments was always this: a man that don't treat you right, not gonna teach you right. So why would you go to them?
My thing is, ain't we and listen, everybody know when it come to flat earth, everybody, all these big flat earth channels and the flat earth community is very broad, and guess what? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The flat earth community is somewhat segregated, just like America. It's a reflection of America, right? Just like if you join the military, right? It is segregated, like the blacks and whites is segregated. And, you know, my whole thing is, because of that, it hit different, like when we see Professor Dave go out to Lord Jamar, and guess what? You really don't see a lot of the white big flat earthers coming to Jamar defense. Or maybe I'm tripping.
No,
you're not tripping. You're not tripping.
It sucks because it's like, soon as I try to get my kumbaya on, okay, we all flat earthers, we together. It's like, hold up, nigga. Nope, it's still black and white now, even with the earth flat shit. That sucks.
Yeah.
You know, I told you that story with that, man. Then we can't forget the personal stuff that Godfrey got against Lord Jamar too, for telling his personal business. That he also did with my boy Corey Holcomb. Shout out to Corey Holcomb and Goose. You know what I'm saying? But they told a personal story about Godfrey that he didn't want out there, and so he got a personal album too. We can't leave that off the table.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Yeah. And what's crazy about that is, you know, them dudes
That's
grew
crazy.
up, they came from Chicago. You know what I'm saying? They grew up together in Chicago on the comedy circuit, and how that shit went down was crazy, bro. It was crazy.
Crazy.
And
that dude is not showing himself as a loyal person. I'm gonna say that. Godfrey.
He ain't loyal. Hell no, he ain't loyal. Because check it out, right? If I'm Godfrey, I'm saying to myself, Lord Jamar, my nigga. And yeah, he a flat earther. I don't agree with that flat earth shit, but that's my flat earth homeboy, and that's my nigga. We've been, but that you know, ain't no way I'm gonna possibly fall out with him, because his bond is deeper than flat earth. It's like people saying, blaming it on Lord Jamar. Godfrey taking 100% of the blame on why they ain't friends right now.
It's like he'll tell you, when I talk to the brother, he'll tell you, when we talk about flat earth, he'll tell you what I say. I don't give a damn about the shape of the planet. I don't give a damn about that. But he's my brother. Bro Sanchez, my brother. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Big facts. And that shouldn't be the discrepancy between the two people. Like Sanchez said, hey, that's my flat earth brother. I got a cousin. He like that. He don't care. Right. But man, he's not gonna out me because but I'm gonna tell you what that is. That's because Godfrey don't want to be threw under the bus too. He don't want to feel them tires himself. And he know that he gotta push this Scientology, design this movement.
You got it. You know what you just made me think of some shit now. I call it a tether tactic, right? Because what these tethers like Godfrey will do, they'll say, okay, this my opportunity to solidify myself with Zaddy. Because if I throw this black man under the bus who's challenging this white man's authority and his physics, that'll get me a lot of kudos with him. Right. See what I'm saying?
Brownie points.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong.
Let me tell you how I know I'm right. I'm gonna just 15 seconds. It ain't Godfrey I see doing this Ironworks. Watch this, right? I see a lot of Africans coming over here. They come into America and they trying to educate black people on how ignorant we is when it come to American history, even though they just got here running from their land. And they know it ain't that they know more about American history than us, because we've been here. They just showed up. How the hell was you in Africa researching American history to the point where now you come to my country reteaching me history like you know it more than me? But see, it ain't that these foreigners, they know they don't know the history more than us. They know when they check us that the white man gonna give them doggy biscuits. Yeah, keep them niggas in check.
They are told.
Saying that's my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They are briefed, and it's a criteria. They don't just let any of them in. It's a criteria of certain type of people that come here that they allow in, and that person cannot align themselves with us. That's a no-no. And they teach them that they can approach us the way they approach us, thinking that we're stupid. They teach them that.
Bro said doggy biscuits.
Shout out to the brother Black Light joining us, man. Salutes to the brother.
Black Light, what's happening? That's my man right there. That's him.
You know, they try to teach us like we was illiterate and stuff back in them days, but you got to think the English language and all that was new to us. So, and the spelling of English and stuff. So it wasn't that we were illiterate or stupid. We were just new to the language like everybody else is. History is new. So we can't get that twisted either. Like I did the show, African American ain't invented nothing. Those were all Negroes, American Negroes who invented those things. See, it's a whole bunch of rhetoric that's being spewed that's misleading the people. We got to shed that light on the truth and not just what's being the norm of what's socially correct. You understand what I'm saying?
I totally agree.
I agree.
Yeah, now, I don't know if y'all went over this yet, but one of the things that I took away from that whole craziness that happened on Godfrey's show with Dave and Lord Jamar is that as soon as Lord Jamar, because Godfrey's got a big platform, right? And it's just getting bigger. As soon as Lord Jamar started saying that, because, you know, he was on with Killer Priest and everything else, but it's not as big as what Godfrey got going on. Right. As soon as he started saying that, it was like a week later where they brought on Dave. This is what I noticed. We don't have enough Black people in the Flat Earth community. Now, this is something that I talk about on my channel. You know what I'm saying? And it scares a lot of white folks. And they think I'm talking about a racism. I'm like, it's not about race. It's just an equivalency. You understand? Because a lot of flat earthers deal with the same shit Black people deal with. And we're already ready for it because we receive shit like this on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? So it's natural for us. So I'm shocked that there ain't more Black flat earthers.
You know why?
Another thing that I noticed, hold on, because I'm gonna land my plane right here.
Yeah, take your time.
Is that after that happened, that was a way for the globe and especially white people to come in and curtail that noise. Because what's going on in the streets right now, you got a bunch of Black folks that's not partaking in what's going on, right? Whether you believe that this is not a setup or something like that or not, but you see how we're backing off. We're like on one accord, we're solid. And this is, to me, this is a way in which we're speaking a truth, right? It's like, hey, this is what happens when we don't partake in shit. And then it just changes the dynamic of everything. The flat earth is no different. When you have Black people speaking on a topic and you know it's the truth, because a lot of times when we say something, people listen. Like people shut the fuck up and they listen. The flat earth is no different. The last thing they need is for the world to listen to Black people about the world being flat. And that's why this shit happened with Lord Jamar. That's the only thing I could come up with. That's it.
I just want to plug this in because the bill is getting real powerful, man. This is therapy for me because and I'm starting to lean toward the idea that this is real, it ain't staged, and that makes it even more effed up. Here's my thing with Godfrey and Lord Jamar. I just don't think that they'll get back cool, right? And I don't really want them to. Because you can't trust Godfrey, and Godfrey is a snake. How the hell did he even get in contact with Professor Dave? You went behind.
He came on there quick too.
Yeah.
He came on there quick too.
Hey, can I speak to that?
That's a real good
Yeah.
question. That's a
He
real good
came on
question.
there quick. There wasn't no reaching for him. Let's see if he'll pick up. He already had it set up already, my G.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can I speak to that?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so I ain't trying to defend Godfrey all the way or nothing, but I honestly think that it was Dante was the real culprit, because when Lord Jamar first went on Godfrey's platform, it was Lord Jamar and Dante that was going back and forth. And Lord Jamar said that he was willing to debate Neil deGrasse Tyson. But after that, Professor Prostitute Dave made his video reacting and talking shit to Lord Jamar, and Dante reached out to him because of that. So just the way I feel, I think Godfrey was actually pretty fair. If you listen to the debate, Godfrey was saying that flat earthers, Lord Jamar was making a lot of sense. His points was making sense.
He
But
was. He was.
I think Godfrey's fault was just not moderating properly and not realizing that Dante was trying to set Jamar up, was trying to jump him, because Dante kept jumping in like, bro, this is not your show. Like, we don't need you to be the host or the moderator. This is Godfrey's show. Let him and Dave debate one-on-one. Like, Brother Sanchez, I heard you make this point before. Like, if we go on one-on-one, don't jump in the fight. Let me get him one-on-one. Like, I feel like that was Godfrey's fault, just not telling Dante to chill the fuck out. And I think that's why Lord Jamar was really mad. But that's just my
Dante
point.
the little chubby guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're right. He did play. Yeah, okay. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. He played
and you can see it all throughout. You can see it all throughout that debate too. Or not even that the debate, that discussion that they had the first time around. You can see it.
Oh, I agree. He was kind of hating. He didn't even know his own shit, but every time
you right. Because
every time bro hit a point, he would be like, nah,
man, I forgot
I remember that.
He was, you're right. He make Godfrey look like a saint, because now that I think about it, he was saying the bullshit, like this guy's an expert, is like him questioning you on the hip hop shit or something. It made me mad. It was like, you question it, you don't have the authority to question them or something. I can replay it, but yeah.
Yo, what's up, Sanchez? I want to mention something.
He was saying that too. Dude was the main culprit, and Godfrey should have told him, to chill and just let them two. They gonna go back and forth. But dude kept butting in, actually, literally agitating. That's what he was doing.
Man, this shit's crazy, man. This is crazy.
Fat light skinned dude.
And then if I can say, I don't know, this just might be kind of out there, but I think Dante really is like jumping on coattails, because if y'all know, Dante Nero used to be with Patrice O'Neal. Patrice O'Neal had the Black Phillip show. After Patrice O'Neal died, Dante did Beige Phillip, but it didn't go nowhere. Now he's trying to ride Godfrey's coattails. Maybe he's jealous of the bond that Godfrey and Lord Jamar got, and was trying to use the flat earth thing as a perfect way to break that up some kind of way. Who knows?
Oh my God.
Now this right here is a theory that I had two of them, but this one right here ties all. It's make a lot of sense now, and I forgot about him, man.
Me too.
Maybe that's how Godfrey got hold to Professor Dave through the little fat chubby guy.
Because he mentions him. He mentions Professor Dave before that second episode where Professor Dave just makes a surprise appearance. He talks about him. He's like, I know this dude, Professor Dave. That's right.
It was through him.
Wow.
And then when the chaos started, he's fucking went into like the shadows and kind of let Godfrey get the all the, because his name on the platform.
His job was done. He did what he came. That's his desired effect, and he left afterwards.
And then I think the aftermath of it, I think just because, and I think Lord Jamar was probably a little wrong too, because I don't think that if you look at it, anybody with sense, like intellect, discernment, if you watch it back, Lord Jamar didn't look crazy. It just looked like he got out of character because he wasn't ready for the bullshit debate tactics. Like, dude wasn't asking no real questions. He was just trying to get Lord Jamar agitated, and Lord Jamar didn't realize it. I think that was just his fault. And then him getting mad at Godfrey and not wanting him to put the video out. It's like, dog, he can make money off of this. You didn't look that bad. Like, you got a trip off of it. But then I think Godfrey being petty, because Lord Jamar did all that shit, he ended up having crazy legs on his show, and that's what made it worse.
But see, my thing is like with Godfrey too. Why I got to give Godfrey a little bit of. Now I do see Godfrey in a different light after you brought that up, Black Light. But at the same time, what I would say what got me with Godfrey is after the fact, you didn't make no effort like to see no accountability to see where you kind of aided in the bum rush. You didn't moderate it and none of that. And that's important because you ain't really looking at Jamar's sensitivity with coming out on a topic like flat earth. You don't see the ridicule motherfuckers get like, that's big, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't handle it with them gloves with care. And I think that further deteriorated the friendship.
But Brother Sanchez, I give Godfrey a little leeway on that because supposedly it was like right after Lord Jamar supposedly had like threatened getting like lawyers involved. So I give Godfrey a little leeway, but like I said, when you know that Lord Jamar and Crazy Legs is not cool, and then you invite Crazy Legs onto your show, I feel like that's when you really
that was spiteful.
That is crazy.
That was spiteful.
You know, and and see, my thing is this too. What you bring up make me think of this, Black Light. Godfrey kind of sided with Dave on the flat earth, even though he was neutral in the debate, and he can say he wasn't a good moderator. But you're right. The thing is this though, he's siding with Crazy Legs on black people in hip hop. Godfrey would probably side with, you know, the fact that blacks did come over on the transatlantic slave trade. Our whole history started as cotton pickers off of a boat from Africa.
He do subscribe to that.
See what I'm saying? So, like, at the end of the day, Godfrey may not be a bad person, but he's an enemy to FBA because he subscribed to everything we're awakening up to, realizing we've been lied to about. He would aid the oppressor against that awakening.
Watch some of those shorts. Watch some of those shorts that he did recently. He do subscribe to that.
Yo, Sanchez, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I wanted to mention because somebody brought up languages when they ask us about our history and they telling us about our history and they always ask us, where's your culture and where's your language, right? Tell me why before we didn't call ourselves Indians. We called ourselves Mississippians. If you look up the Mississippian culture, it suddenly ended right when the first 2 years before the first Indian War started. So that's when they grabbed the pen. They can write anything they freaking want from that point.
You mean right? Black people as a whole in America were all called Mississippians?
We were Mississippians.
Okay.
What were you? So when I meet you, hey, well, where are you? I'm a Mississippian. What parts? Well, I'm from the Choctaw region, right? Tell me why took the Algonquin. They took the Algonquin language. These people, if you read their story, they had a migration from Germany to England. They spoke Anglo-Saxon. It was a form of German. They didn't speak English. It was created after they met the Algonquins. They took hundreds to thousands of words from the Algonquin language that would describe culture, food, everything, right? To create the English language. We were already speaking Algonquin. So they renamed the whole language. If you take 1,000 words, the words that I just spoke to you right now, I spoke to you and just told you this whole little story right now in less than 1,000 words.
That's crazy.
Wow. That's wild.
When they ask you what your culture is and what your people is and what language did you speak or whatnot, we're speaking the language that they learned.
I always had a theory that the English language may be more ancient than what we know. Like, how do they pull it out of thin?
It says, if you look up where did the English language come from, it says that they took hundreds to 1,000 words from the Algonquin language, which is one of the Mississippian tribes, Choctaw, Mississippi. The Mississippian is an overall umbrella. We called ourselves Mississippians because of the Mississippi River It gave us life. You know, all this shit makes sense. The Mississippian culture actually exists. They just don't want to describe the people. They would be attached to the Olmecs. They've been renaming us since then. Like, you know what I mean? So
I'm a segue
deep,
somewhere.
bro.
That's a nice fact. I'm a segue to this Jamar thing and say something that I forgot to mention earlier, right? Why Ironwork said, you know, why it ain't a lot of black people into the flat earth thing. You know what? I wanted to answer that. Now it just dawned on me. The answer in my theory was, you see, because in my career, a lot of black folks are the main ones that ask me this question. Flat around, what does it matter anyway? I'm still suffering. I gotta go to work tomorrow. And I think that black people really in such an oppressed state that it's kind of a luxury to be able to research stuff like flat earth, astral projection. You got to have some time to do that, you know, to do these kind of studies, right? It's a luxury to do that. And I don't think a lot of black people got that luxury, yeah. So they don't even see how it would be.
Hey, can I throw something out there? I want to see what people think about this, because just when it comes to unity, right? Just people coming together for just what's right or whatever, just the truth. I say that black people, it ain't my bad, how I go. It's like black people don't like talking about the flat earth for the same reason that white people don't like talking about racism. Because it don't apply to them. Black people, we so focused on getting money and shit like that flat earth shit. Like we know the government is lying, but like Brother Sanchez said, we ain't got time to research it. White people feel like racism don't apply to them, so they don't give a fuck about it. Just when people come in like trying to get people on the same page, people just don't give a fuck enough because white people don't deal with racism and black people trying to get some money.
And then, you know, I heard another brother say this too. They'll phrase it this way. They would say, well, is flat earth gonna solve hunger, poverty, war, and all that? I want to answer this stuff real quick, and I'm gonna let the callers that's in the background, I'm gonna let y'all on. Check this out, right? To the black people that say, flat earth ain't gonna make me rich, it ain't gonna make me no money. Well, here's the thing, right? Let me just say this, I'm gonna need about 3 minutes, right? What I'm showing on the screen right now in this collage is the ancient conception of the flat earth from the Vedics. This is what they said the earth is. According to the Vedic, what my collage show is that the earth is a big ass Tesla coil. And that's how it's powering itself. And this path of the circuit of everything in the sky is following the Fibonacci spiral, which is this Tesla coil. It's crazy that the word coil resembles the word soil when we talk about the ground where all the energy, plant life, trees come from, but that's another form of etymology, syncretism. Let me answer the question. Why is it money? Don't you know the price of your car, the price of your rent, the cost of your water, the cost of your clothes, your food is all based on one thing. How much does it cost to generate energy? The people in the world that is create inflation, and basically, if you don't know, inflation is the foundation of rich versus poor. The more inflation, the richer the rich get, the poor get, in a nutshell. So how do they have an excuse for inflation? They say, listen, guys, it costs us more energy to make energy. It literally costs us more energy than what the energy you using is worth. And that translates to, hey guys, the dollar that you spending, it costs more to print the dollar than what the dollar worth. So the whole big scam of fiat government is we're trying to figure out sustainable energy devices so that we can do away with rich, poor, and inflation. Just breaking everything down in a nutshell. Nikola Tesla was a flat earther. He didn't pull his Tesla coil out of his rear end. He studied ancient cosmology and he realized how the earth was powering itself for free. And he wanted to teach free energy to everybody else. But guess what? The people in power can't stay in power if we all know the secrets of power itself. And how do you unlock those secrets? It's all in flat earth. It's deeper than the shape of the earth. It's what is the earth. See, if you don't know the shape of the earth, you don't even know what the hell the earth is, man. And once you realize the shape of the earth, once you see that shape, you're going to say, damn, this shape like this shape like that. And you're going to have an aha moment. Wow, what if the earth is? Because think about it. If the earth is able for us to pull electricity from the earth, because you can't create energy and you can't destroy energy, you can only pull the energy that's already there. The question is, how is a rock with water on it flying in a vacuum giving us electromagnetic energy, subtle energy? Energy we can't even reduplicate. According to them, I think we can. They just don't want to because that's sovereignty. See, what if everything we produce costs literally nothing to manufacture it? You just paying the man basically for his intellectual property and the idea. All of them other taxes that keep you working hard, all of that is a result of them saying the way we put items on the shelf is inefficiently. We need more sustainable ways, y'all. This is the foundation of why, you know, flat earth is so important as far as money and all that. It got something to do with inflation, fiat government, free energy. Free energy, like, I just can't stress enough how this ties into who's rich right now and who's poor right now. And the people that's rich with everything can't let the poor people know the secrets of power. Power is what the words say, electricity. We think power is some superstitious, vague word that represents strength, or like it literally means electricity, the stuff that is making the world go. If the lights cut off right now and the internet cut off, that's the end of our world system as we know it. So really the people in power, their whole job is to keep making electricity for the world, to keep us on their power grid. That's how they stay ahead of the world, because guess what they telling us? They're telling us, look, we're spending y'all tax dollars so that y'all can enjoy electricity, but what it costing us to create electricity is worth more than the money itself. What they're basically, the reason our money is working against us is because the lie that they're telling, that because they're saying, listen, for every so many wattages of energy we create, we losing more than half of that because of the process that we're creating it with. So it's like, it's the worst, most primitive process of creating energy that we got, like, and they doing it on purpose. Why though? Because we pay for the loss. It's like this. I said this scenario a few streams ago. If McDonald's was wasting French fries on the ground and the customer still had to pay for the French fries that McDonald's waste on the ground, guess what? If I was McDonald's, I'd be spilling a whole lot of fucking French fries. I'd be spilling a lot of fries, baby. And this is what the energy companies of the world is doing. They saying we're trying to figure this thing out, but we just can't. And McDonald's would be telling you, look, we trying to figure out how to stop dropping all these damn fries on the floor. You see, if they had to pay for them fries themselves, I bet you they'll figure it out quick.
But bro, I have to go now.
Okay, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you allowing me to come up,
and let me say this too. I spoke with Lord Jamar. Supposedly, he's supposed to be allowing me, you know, to collab with him on this show. I'm putting that out there. We spoke on an email, you know. I forgot to let you know that. But yeah, man, salutes to you, man. I appreciate that.
Thank you for allowing me, brother. Salute to the other brothers on the platform. Backlight, Ironwork, AJ Davis, Kinofu. Salute, brothers.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that, brother Nasir. But yeah, I'm going to fall back right there. So that's the question to black people when they say, but man, why is this flat earth stuff important? You know what I'm saying? When a brother like, even brothers like Nasir may say, you know, I don't care about flat earth, right? And I'm saying this, right? It's a lot of things that we don't care about that's hurting us because we don't. Because think about it, if a person say, I don't care about biology, or I don't care about health. But you need to care about health. You need to just saying I don't care about it. Guess what? I'm gonna let you live because I get it. A person that don't care about it, right? And they ain't bringing no beef for it. They ain't trying to debate you on it. That's a friend of mine, because you got a lot of people that don't care about flat Earth, but they in the way of it too. So, salutes to Nasir, but the whole point that I was bringing up with the free energy thing to the black folks that say, you know, I don't really see how flat Earth matter or how it's important or whatever. Basically, if you working every day for money, the value of your money is directly related to energy. And flat Earth, I just went over all that. I ain't gonna, you know, hey, here we go. So I'm gonna fall
what up,
back.
y'all?
Yeah.
What up, y'all?
Snitching with the
Y'all hear
sky.
me?
What's good? We can hear you.
Yeah, this Fudge. I don't know if y'all remember me, but yeah, this Fudge right here. But if y'all wanna, let me draw this gem. If y'all wanna see some progress happening in Flat Earth, go over to TikTok. It's going down over there. Every other day, a new Flat Earth is
I keep
made,
hearing
and
that.
it's a lot of engagement. It's getting real over there. Like
Yeah.
I've been over there for a while, and yeah, you'll love it over there.
And you know what?
It's so
I've been
knowledgeable
hearing
over
that
there.
too. And the
I just
thing
hit
about,
2.
yeah,
So I put the
thing about TikTok though, I don't know why I can't get used to the interface and all that. It seemed like childish, but I need the fucking
Nah,
expand.
it ain't that, bro. Just go to the flat Earth. I just be on the flat Earth side on their lives and stuff, and yeah, it
But
be
you're right.
real over there.
They have moved, the flat Earth debates have moved to TikTok. The debates, yeah.
Hey,
And they go
snitching with
into
the
deep. They go
sky.
into deeper stuff too. When the debate isn't happening, it goes to deeper stuff as well, just like you do. And
Yeah.
it be getting real over there.
Hey, snitching with the sky. What pages on TikTok? Is it any particular people over there? Cause I
It's the dude Tron. Vlad, I know you probably done seen Tron. Tron, he a good one.
yeah, we
He
Yeah,
know
always
he,
talking
Tron.
about
yeah.
the aviation. It's a dude
Yeah,
named
seen
Globe. It's
yeah,
a dude
seen
named
Tron,
that.
Globe.
he's the one with the voice. He kind of sounds like this, and
I'm
he
lost.
over there lives in Florida.
Yeah,
Tron.
Yeah, he be
I'm
on
under
Beeper. He be on
TikTok
Beeper.
rock for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a dude named Globe Crusher over there. He's good. He a guy named Fred from Canada. He real knowledgeable. It's a
Yeah,
lot
I
of
seen him.
once you go on like them two right there, just look at their followers and pick anyone because they don't really follow people or befriend people that's not like a part of the
Flat Earth,
community.
right. So you saying that TikTok has got the same sort of push that YouTube used to have back in the day going on right now. They got that fresh
Yeah,
wave going on of I got you.
yeah.
And
But
that's
one thing,
crazy. Yeah, go ahead.
But one thing about being over there though, it's a lot of disinformation agents that come up that try to stop the
Yep,
conversation so it get too
Oh
real
yeah.
over there.
Oh yeah.
It's
yep.
a lot of them that be
That's gonna
coming up.
come everywhere and hit pieces and all that. Listen,
Yeah,
the people in power is not gonna listen. These folks ain't finna go out without no fight. They done risked their life for this life. And listen, I was saying some on my earlier stream that black people need to realize before they indoctrinated us with the Bible, they indoctrinated us with the heliocentric model of the universe. That was first, before we even knew about Jesus or any Bibles and all. Before we was Christians, we was globe earthers. And before we was globe earthers, we was flat earthers. See, people may say, well, how, Sanchez? Well, look, the old concept of heaven and hell that the Gnostics taught was based upon the universe having a universal up and a universal down. The upper realms
yeah,
and lower realms. You ain't got a universal up and down in the helios. The Greeks didn't know about the upper ethers and lower ethers. You see
yeah.
what I'm
See
saying?
what happened was they had to bring that heliocentric out because that heliocentrism is seized doubt. So now you have this open space where there's doubt, or maybe there is a creator, maybe not. But
There
when
we
you know
go.
it's flat, there's no question.
Mm-hmm.
There's a creator. And once
Yep.
you have that foundation, it's just up from there.
Yep. That's facts.
And that's what
Hey,
all them
snitching.
disinformation
Go ahead.
agents be trying. They trying to keep that doubt seated. Because while we do over there spew straight facts, and it be people doing observation stuff live right there during the debate. They be live doing the observations across lakes and stuff. Like it gets crazy over there, man.
I'm
Right.
gonna
But
try to
be
get
real.
some. I'm gonna try to go over there on TikTok and interview some of the brothers over here and sort of bridge the worlds, man. I appreciate you for because TikTok here's been going off with the flat Earth. I ain't gonna lie, man.
But hey,
It's
look,
real.
snitching.
I'm telling you,
Look,
y'all will
there's
love it over there.
The homie I listened
snitching.
to, we talking about, the whole sovereign movement and secure part of credit and all that kind of stuff. He was big time on YouTube, slid over to Instagram a little bit, and now all his lives be on TikTok, and they be in there. You know what I'm saying? So I have noticed a lot of people who used to go hard on YouTube, they starting to slide over there on TikTok. I don't know what it is about it over there, but
I'm talking about like TikTok, how TikTok set up. It's like a whole world. It's crazy
Hey,
over
look,
they
y'all
be
gotta
over
be
there, bro.
careful with TikTok though, cause like snitching. If you ever seen over there on TikTok, it's a woman that hosts lives. Her name is like Katie Dig. She supposedly a flat earther, but I was in another live where it was
Oh
two
yeah, I
other
know,
people on
I
there.
know. You talking about Katie Denton? Yeah, I know you talking
Yeah,
about. She always have
yeah,
all them. She always had the disinformation agents all through her. She friends,
exactly.
but I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know
And
what
so
it
you
is
got to
with
be
her.
careful because some people act like they're on the flat earth side, but I heard people pressing her because she had globe people as moderators and they was
Yeah,
like muting and kicking out flat earthers. So y'all gotta be
Yeah,
careful over
it's
there
a
with
lot
that.
of psyops and controlled opposition going on, and I'm gonna tell you what is the worst fate for the flat Earth movement. It sucks with the flat Earth movement if content start going into more short form because you got to think about this, right? When the flat Earth community blew up, especially during COVID too, when it really had a push during that time too, people was looking for short form content is taking over like TikTok, like you say, but short form content can work against flat Earth more than for it because with the global model, all they doing is reinforcing indoctrination. You can do that in little snippets, and all you got to do is be eloquent, put a suit on, have your Neil deGrasse Tyson thing going, and and you can rock a person back to sleep. With flat Earth, you need a lot of time to break down to this person that you see what I'm saying. So they know what they doing. You know what I'm saying?
but see, most of the things I be on, they be just lives. They be live, so it be people going thoroughly in detail with everything.
Hell yeah,
When
that's
there's
what we
some
need.
engagement going on,
Yeah.
it be undeniable stuff. But of course, the disinformation agents, they come and they try to disrupt things, but it never work. Most of the time, if anyone who's like just hip to them, they're just gonna kick them out and completely ban them from their whole life where they can't put a comment or nothing,
Yeah.
so they can keep on talking to a
And,
genuine person.
and that's like now you're running. But see, here's a nail in the coffin for every flat earther to put in their toolbox. See, flat earthers and globe earthers believe in the Big Bang. I don't know about y'all, but as a flat earther, I know that the universe is a result of an expansion or what's called some sort of explosion or whatever from a point of singularity. But here's the thing. We can explain it better on a flat earth than on a globe earth when it comes to the Big Bang. We can literally debunk the tree at the roots in macrocosm. Because look, the shape of a Big Bang, just take a look at this now. What they're saying is that the universe, the shape of the universe is that of a natural explosion. And here is an explosion right here, and this would be a flat earth model of the universe, what I'm showing you with the North Pole in the middle, which is what created all of these. Each of these little layers of gases that y'all see stacked up is a different concoction of gases based upon density. The heaviest gases is at the bottom, and up here at the top of this thing, these are the lightest gases. So this would be like your helium at the upper atmosphere or whatever, and it separates. See what I'm saying? Boom. We can kill them with the Big Bang debate. Flat Earth, though.
I never really got into the whole Big Bang, man. It always seemed kind of I guess I never really understood as much as you go over the syncretism and the you know how those shapes and stuff add up. You know what I'm talking about? I
Right.
just I always subscribe to. I want to say I think about it is that the earth sort of always was and never was quite a beginning to it. You know what I'm talking
Well,
about?
here's the thing, right? Think of a movie that was always planned. It wasn't a beginning to the movie or end to it, but you had a beginning because you walked in on the movie at a certain point,
Mm.
and you gonna leave at a certain point. So the concept of beginning and ending don't necessarily, that's what I'm saying. Like, this universe always was and always is, but that don't mean we was always conscious.
Gotcha.
So, but our whole consciousness awakening process looks just like the universe itself. So let me just show y'all one more thing. Y'all can, and I'm gonna show you why the syncretism is so deep real here. Here go the Vedic concept of the universe. And this is exactly what I'm showing right here. These are different forms of the same thing. But a wise man once said, and I got several documentaries from physicists that they don't want y'all to know about, real whistleblowers that's proven that the world is a simulation. Guess what they were saying? That the universe is our central nervous system. So if you look at the pharaoh, he's carrying this damn spinal cord in his hand. He call it the Wa scepter. I'll show you this. The universe is your spinal cord, and look at this. All of the ancestors showed it. See, just like a stem with leaves growing out the side of the stem, or a tree trunk with branches growing out the side, your spinal cord is literally a stem or a North Pole for your limbs, arms, and all that to be expanded from. And basically, the way your body's shaped is the exact way that your consciousness shaped. It's just resembling that. So, you know, if another way, if you want to look at this, right, with the whole consciousness and the body, think about a ripple effect. And I'm about to pull that up now. The human body ain't no random shape. If you look at the middle of a ripple effect, you will see that your head, your crown chakra, your shoulders, the way your legs spread out is right here. This is the human body, the I, the lowercase I. Individual. Look at the human body right here on the far right of this collage. Look at the man body shape. Look at the middle of this. See, when the sperm hit the egg, it created this ripple effect pattern that we call the human body, because your body is in the middle of your own chakra layers, which is those ripples around the middle part. So if you looked at your total being, you would be a lowercase I with these ripples coming around you. But this ain't no random shape. This is a result of an explosion. When the sperm hit, we're kamikaze pilots. And the sperm crashed into the egg because it knew that its death would be transformation. It knew that the explosion pattern is the human body. It was transforming itself. So this is the secrets of the universe that take the flat earth shit to a whole nother level that'll even have y'all like, this will have me falling out with other flat earthers, because like early in flat earth, I couldn't really collab with the Dubays and ODDs and the different, like, because they were saying, look, just stick to proving that there's no curve, because I was already saying, like, look what Leonardo da Vinci was saying. I was already on some slyway simulation shit way before even flat earth time.
You was in deeper water. They were still treading in the kiddie pool. You know what I'm talking about?
Had a glass dome, right? All that.
Yeah. And then, you know, as much as I, you know, respect the Bible, though, still they was throwing that Bible into it, and it was throwing people off. You know what I'm talking about? You know, you had that whole Christian flat earth thing going on. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. And the thing about the Christian flat earth was to silence the Gnostic flat earth, but we know the Gnostics are the ones that were saying the earth flat. The Christians are the church members with the papacy, with NASA, synagogue of Satan.
Control opposition. You know how they do.
Hey, bro, Sanchez, would you be open to working with Eric Dubé today?
I'm always willing to. Listen, ever since I came into the flat earth community, I always spoke positively of Eric Dubé. I never threw no shots at him or nothing like that. But I always known one thing. People is not going to work with a flat earther that's going too deep into like the afterlife spirit. That can kind of be, and I get it. But yeah, I'm definitely down for sure.
I think it'll be dope for a lot of people to see, even if y'all just work together on some capacity. Because I actually just did a interview with him on his channel, and I dropped your name on there. I don't know what y'all relationship
Word up,
was like.
bro.
I mentioned your name on his channel,
though.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up, man. Hold on a second here. This brother Black Light. Okay, hell yeah, that's love. Let me.
I think them folks scared of bro Sanchez, man. I remember whenever they came out with some kind of documentary series supposed to be a big hit. You know what I'm talking about? And it had a couple of clips of all the popular flat earthers on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Now, bro, probably been one of the biggest flat earthers for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Besides Eric Dubé and maybe one other, ain't too many ones that go into it and go on it like bro do, right? Out of all the things they put bro, because they showed a little clip of bro, right? Out of all the things they showed, all they showed was flat motherfucking power. And that was it. That let me know, like, man, y'all niggas full of shit. Y'all niggas really don't want the truth, man. Y'all full of shit. I remember that, bro.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check this out.
I go back with that shit.
Yeah, but y'all know Eric the baby paranoid as hell. He be paranoid, boy.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna go and check this out right here.
Yeah, if you check out the interview I did with, he a down to earth dude. I mean, shit. He just moved back to the States too. Like, I don't know if people say he like a recluse or whatever. I don't know. He a down to earth motherfucker. Like, he been responding to me in his comments for years. I've been felt like I knew him before I ever even met him.
Yeah, I've spoke with him in the comments a couple of times. That's why, him and ODD, I've always maintained a pretty good decorum with them or whatever. So that's
what
what's
happened
up.
to ODD? Well, I ain't heard of him in a minute. What happened to him?
He's still an OG, man.
Heard he locked up.
Yeah, I was about to say. I heard he got locked up, but I think he's out now, if I'm not mistaken. But he's just like staying low or something.
Yeah,
they was getting money too, I think.
Man, I swear, man. Look, if his channel's still up, so like, if probably reacting, reviewing his videos, I might just do a whole ODD series and just to keep him eating, drive traffic to that channel. We see you, but look, I'm telling you, man. Back when ODD was doing it, man, he was really one of those guys, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He was one of those guys, nigga. So, shit in the chain. But like I said, TikTok ain't bad for flat earth. It's good. But the bad thing is telling who is who the hit piece, who the wolf in sheep clothes, all that.
But hey, brother Sanchez, that's why I feel like your presence would be needed. As long as you've been in this, you'll be able to weed people out easy. And I was telling Eric the same thing.
Bro.
I was telling Eric the same thing. He should get on TikTok and start doing some shit. Both of y'all would be dope to have over there.
Yeah, I gotta find a way to. I need to just buckle down and start finding how to make this TikTok content and go on and expand and go beyond just YouTube. That's facts, though.
Go over there and just look up my name. It's the same thing. Snitching with the Sky over there, and then go on my list. Everybody on there, everyone on my list legit. unless they just some deep agents and real good that I ain't seen. But everyone that I got added, they legit know they shit.
I'm gonna find you on there.
I'm gonna definitely reach out to y'all on there, man. And I remember at one point I did set up a Discord because everybody was like, "Yo, the shit popping off on Discord." But I know for a fact TikTok solid, way harder than Discord though. They have a couple debates on Discord, but I don't know if it's like TikTok.
Discord ain't nothing like TikTok.
Right. That's like millions of views on little clips from what I see on TikTok. But yeah, man, this flat earth shit is way deeper than like black people really want it. Like, for example, right, you got all the God bodies. Now here go they symbol right here. They don't realize that the 7 in the middle of this circle represent the 7 ethers, all expanding from the North Pole, from the epicenter of a ripple effect, with 7 ripples being the 7 ethers and shit. And then if you look at the way it looked like a compass or whatever, that is directly related and based on the AE map and how everything is expanding from the center, just like we see the rays on this model right here. Or if you pull up an AE map, you'll see the same thing, how the magnetic ley lines all coming in and out. Like, everybody's science can be broken down, even the God bodies, even the 5%ers. I can go up in they temples in New York and get, here go the problem, flat earth brothers, that Ironwork, Key, Black Light, all y'all flat earth cats out here, man, check this one out. All of these temples and schools and shit is based upon the person's theory or belief that founded them. And that's for the church, that's for the temples of Allah, up north, all the Muslims and all that. Tradition versus truth is what we up against. Everybody's symbol, right? Check it out, right? Everyone's symbol can trace back to the truth, but they gonna interpret it the traditional way, and they will fight the truth to maintain their traditions in these different schools. And guess what? Each of these people with these symbols, right? They're interpreting the symbol in a different way, which is making them argue about whose way is the real one, the right way, who got the right God, division. When really the flat earthers are saying everyone's religious symbols is the same one truth, the universal truth about, the earth and all that. It don't matter what symbol you giving me, what group you giving me, syncretism, I'm gonna show you how it's the same truth. And it's all represent energy expanding. So that's what I'm saying about this stream tonight, and I'm gonna fall back, man. That's why I want to point that out too. Like, when you talk black people and flat earth, this is what we gotta address: how the boule, the gangs, the Freemasons, the fraternities is basically, they're gate guarding the symbols. Even the LGBTQ community don't even know it, but they're gate guarding the secrets of the ether using that symbol for their sexual flag. And the people in power know what they doing. They're desecrating sacred symbols right in front of us, just like the Bible prophesied, right? That's why the swastika is banned. You can't say the word Nigga because what? That's black people's real identity. We the Nagas. Everything that's the truth is banned.
That should be diabolical how they switch it up like that. That swastika is deep, as much as they want to put hate on that damn symbol, that swastika is real. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Man, facts. And what you just said, man, how they got us fighting the truth, and that's our real identity. I had to come to that conclusion last night, because when they say all these inventions were made by African Americans, it take us away from the word Negro and the word Nigga. The word Negro is a derivement from that word. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Negro, niggas, the kings, you know what I'm saying, of the earth. But then we don't want to be called Negro either. So then they call us either black or African Americans. And so that's why I did the stream last night, because they're trying to say all these African American inventors would know these were Negro American inventors, man. So that's you right on spot on with that, bro.
I think Negro is one of the closest things you can get to one of our original things. They call us when the old grandma be like that colored boy outside. You know how we take that offense. She's saying that because that's what they call us. It was the copper colored people. You know what I'm talking about? And but they blasphemy in that it made you feel like that was wrong. Oh, don't be calling me colored and like that something was wrong with that. But old white grandma, she knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? And I just see that. I see that. Like when you call somebody a Negro or colored, that ain't necessarily derogatory. That ain't really hurt my feeling because I know the real. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't tell you the real. They made you be like that ain't who they don't call you that. That's wrong for them to call you that. But
Yeah, and nowadays, as soon as a black person, a quote unquote black person, hear one of them words, they just get activated.
They get aggravated, right?
And they got the gate guards and the boule saying it is a very bad word, and black people, we ought to stop saying that word. There's so many psyops being ran. Because think about it, right? They want black people to stop using the word nigga only in the social realm when we dealing with teachings and waking folks up that we nagas and we embracing it as an identity. But the small hats can exploit the word in hip hop every day, and these same black leaders and scholars like of the world, they will tell you how hip hop is so black and ethnic and is our culture, and they don't got a problem with rappers using the N-word. They don't. It's weird. It's like they very strategic on when they censoring this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, have you seen Lord Jamar's interview with Vlad, the new one?
Nah,
It's interesting, bro.
Break it down for me.
I just know that, I didn't know that Vlad first was atheist, and I didn't know that he was about that. I didn't know that he was Jewish also, but he doesn't practice Jewish. But he did. I don't understand. He kind of clipped back when people was talking about Jews this and Jews that. It kind of pissed him off. What I understand, he said because the Jewish people, helped him out of this situation when he was a kid. He was born a Jew, and nothing he can do about it, type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't really practice the Jewish. He the way he chopped his videos down, bro. I couldn't watch the whole video because I did it in between trying to catch yours.
He give niggas samples, basically.
Yeah.
You know damn well them Jews raised him because he gonna squeeze every penny out of every interview. When you do a damn hour-long video with Vlad, you gonna get 10 seconds at a time of that motherfucker.
Man, he got like 11. He got like 11 parts. They like 8 minutes long, type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he the chop king. I ain't gonna lie, young chop all day. But check this out.
I'm gonna go check that out, man, because they were trying to explain the whole fallout between them two and all that there. So I'm
definitely gonna check that out. Now watch this, right? I'm finna break something down to you about the word naga, and then I'm gonna go into why atheism is such bullshit, right? Salutes to the panel and to the chat, right? So the word naga is also synonymous with the word naka. It ain't just the G pronounced, and the G becomes hard, it becomes naka. So you see all of these different interpretations of the word, right? And then the naga, if you look at the symbol of the naga, let me just show y'all something real quick. This is why the flat earth can't be beat. Watch this real quick. Let me pull up the screen share again. Because I'm going to show y'all why they don't like the word naga. Now, here is the naga right here. Let me pull this up. Here go a naga in the top right corner. You see that little serpent black man right there? In the top right? Mm-hmm. It's like a black Buddha, but he got a serpent tail. That was the first form of Saturn. before they turned it into the European version when they said Jesus is a black man or whatever. Well, the first portrayal of the God body is this image in the top right corner. Images like that of a black man surrounded by this ripple effect, but that goes back to what I was showing earlier. This is the ancestors' way of teaching about the chakra layers and how each layer of the self is divided up in its own netter, parallel realities. Boom, a ripple effect. Meaning that your real mama and daddy is at the base reality at the North Pole. But when your real mama and daddy met, because there's so many multiverses like a glass house, all of your fake mama and daddies gave birth to these other versions of you in parallel realities. That's why your daddy had so many sperm cells in his discharge. The white man lied. He told you all of the sperms died except one. He didn't tell you the truth. Every single one of those sperms died. Even the one he said lived crashed into the egg and died as a sperm cell and became a human. Every sperm your daddy discharged went into a different egg in a different mama in a different alternate reality. And that's where we go when we dream. This is the part of flat earth that I just can't get us to. Here's the thing about flat earth while we getting left behind. Most of the world convinced that the earth is a globe, and they're trying to make parallel realities and the multiverse work on the globe model. People are so ready to get into this spiritual aspect of life, but they don't know the shape of the earth. They don't realize how important this conversation is when it even comes to astral projection, out-of-body experience. If you study the YouTube algorithm, that kind of spiritual content is taken off on YouTube, and flat earthers are still trying to prove to people that the earth ain't curving. And it's like it's a trick being played, bro.
I feel like it's because they be taking it to space, bro. They be right there, and then they take it to space. They take you to outer space, some other planet. They take you to some other galaxy. They want you to think that this world is not. It's just like a smidge of like you just like a dust compared to a whole ocean of sand or something. They want you to think the importance of this world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want to take you to space. They don't want you to know everything about this world. They want to take you to space somewhere. That's what I say. Every time somebody get to be spiritual, you talk about astral projecting and things like that. They want to take you to another planet. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, their thought processing is off, so it got them unaligned.
Yeah, they make everything physical. They made everything where it's tangible, where it's limited. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, they take you to space, they take you to a far out place that only you can imagine. You know what I'm saying? Nothing that's within nothing that's around your body. And that's how they everything, man. Even the scriptures,
You know what I just
how well codified it is, they've turned it to where they even make God or the understanding of God to where he's a physical thing. You know what I'm saying? To where he's tangible. And it's like probably all this stuff isn't tangible. Places just strange.
Backwards. I just thought about how earlier I was saying that the heliocentrism is like a seed of doubt. When you think about it, the globe is a literal seed within a big open space. So it's like a literal seed of doubt itself. It's a seed that's in a big open space.
And you know what? Since you say, when you think about it, when you paint that picture of this little globe in the middle of this infinite space and ain't no life nowhere else but this little globe, right? Now, flat earthers would tell the world it's just us humans, ain't nothing else but us. We in the middle of the universe. And they would say flat earthers want to feel special. But if you think about what they teaching, that would make you very special if you on a little globe surround you the only life. Like you can't really, the whole thing about the globe model is they trying to get rid of the shape of the earth itself for the simple way of hiding free energy. I've come to the conclusion that people say, well, they hide in God. What does the word God really break down to? Energy, right?
Mm. Mm.
Yep.
So that's
It's
what
not
I
just
was
power.
saying.
Mm.
It's not just power of your car. It's to grow your own food, to produce your own water, to keep healing yourself, to keep yourself young, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, they
This
don't
is
want that. They don't want that. They got to be able to control you, bro. That's how they, you know what I'm talking about. I think it's about control. The whole power and energy. I think it's about being able to control the masses. Can't let the masses mind free themselves, because then they can't control them no more. Then they know they're not really needed. You know what I'm saying? If everybody knew how to harness energy like them folks do in one of them Amazon jungles, who don't need power, don't need no electricity, you know what I'm saying? They know how to harness energy. They know certain plants that give off light and all that kind of. If everybody knew that, then they wouldn't be able to control us no more. We wouldn't need all that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's all I was saying. Like, this flat earth thing is way deeper, man. Like what I was saying about the word Naga, you can replace the G with a K. And if you look up the etymology of the word Naga, it translates to snake. But if you think about it, if you take the S off of snake, you get Naki, Nak, Naka, Anunnaki, the Naga, the Nigga. This is the same people. If you look at images of the Anunnaki, right, they look like serpent people. If you look at images of the Nagas, like this one in the top right corner, same thing. Another word would be genie. But if you take the word genie and rearrange it, you get Niga. Niga, put the G with an N at. It's there in the words. When Hitler was calling his troop Nazis, some people pronounce that G, sh, s, not she, not sa, nasha, which is a space program. The Nagas talked about leaving Earth. The Anunnaki were beings to said to leave Earth. Enoch, see there go the word knock again. Again, Naki, Naka, knock, nuke, a nuke bomb. What is that? An explosion. What is a ripple effect? An explosion. This is etymology, syncretism, showing you how these words have a meaning, how I took the word snake, put the nake in it, and tied it into knock, nuke, and all of that, and showed you how they relate to each other based on the cosmology. That's what syncretism is. You look it up, look the word, you'll see I ain't making this up. This is a profession.
Nah, that's a fact, bro. Like going up the stairways, with the seven heavens, and the knockers when they go up the stairs and knock on the next door, it's a continuation of life. That infinite energy and shit. Yo, that's deep, bro. You gotta go deep in that shit right there, bro.
Yeah, syncretism, the amalgamation or attempted amalgamation of different religions, cultures, or schools of thought. If a listen, the black belt to flat earth is when you become a syncretist. Santos Bonacci know this. When you're able to say I'm a syncretist, that's like in fighting saying, well, I'm a black belt now. Look at part 2, the linguistics, the merging of different inflectional varieties of a word like Naki, Nuke, Naga. See, when people get syncretism, they're going to see the single truth in the world that's hidden behind all of these symbols and religions and folklores, and they're going to see one simple syncretistic truth from it. You see what I'm saying? But until but we've been taught to see everything separated, divided. So syncretists today sound like madman lunatics that's freestyling nothingness. It's like Chinese to people.
My G, let me ask you this, my G. When it comes to the flat Earth, stay right there. Stay right there. When it comes to the flat Earth, my G, you know, we talk about these rings around us, right? And we talk about these other lands, right? Do you think, first thing, do you think physically we can go past a certain wall and get to another land? And my next question is, have you ever seen, I forget what movie it was, I don't know if it's some kind of Marvel or something about some kind of monk. I want to say it's Iron Fist monk. Whenever it was the only way to get to the temple is outside of a certain wall, and your heart and your mind and everything had to be in lined up, and it only opened up at a certain time. And if you can't, if your heart ain't right and you ain't in tune with the body, it's not gonna allow you to go. It kind of reminds me of like you can only go through your spirit. The physical can't go. Only the spirit can go through a certain boundary. Does that make sense to you? Or am I tripping?
Well, the body is another spirit. And I know that sound crazy. You don't have a physical body. You have a soul inside of the earth realm that you call in your body. And you have another soul in other realms. When people say, look, I got a soul inside of my body, here's what they saying, right? When Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within, Jesus saying you can project your consciousness inward into parallel realities and outward into parallel realities, because you're the center of your own ripple effect, in which and whatever reality you're in at the moment is where your awareness is shifted to. But so check this out, right? When you talk about going to other planets, the solar system is based upon our soul. Ain't nothing out there in the sky but stars, and those are little wormholes for you to project your inner light through, and each one of them lead to a different parallel reality. So once we start realizing this, we'll realize physics is blasphemy. Ain't nothing physical about our reality. We're in a holographic simulation, and the word physicality was the biggest mind fuck they played on us.
So you think we can go to these other rings physically?
I'm saying that there may be hidden, unmapped lands. I don't think when we look at a map, we're saying there all there is to see. I think that the earth is so big and the ocean is so vast that it's possible to hide entire islands and continents for people who only travel via airplanes, city transports, and you look at the maps they gave us. With the way that we travel in the world, it's possible to hide entire continents, man, because we got set flight paths that they got. Like, you don't know what, it's people that have said, yo, our plane had to take a detour and we all saw this mysterious island that we never saw before. Plenty of stories like that. So check this out, right? Here's another thing you asking me about. Can we travel physically in this earth realm? Or we shouldn't say physically. We should be saying, is there a barrier to this particular ether that we're in? We're inside of a closed terrarium. And yes, I believe that if we travel outward, we will see more lands and continents that they didn't tell us about, where they using to breed new species, new plants. Like when they be like, we found the new species. Nope, that's a new species bred from some underground base, some uncharted island. New shit don't just pop up, right? So it's plants and species that's out there in the earth that's preserved in these uncharted lands since prehistoric times, and they can bring shit back. I do believe that, and I do think that the biggest way of traveling is astral traveling, because you can only get so far within this earth realm. If you want to use the word physically, we stuck with that word, right?
Right.
But yeah, you're going to reach a barrier to where you can't go no further, and you've seen all there is to see here, and the only way you can do now is project to other worlds entirely.
Other worlds. Gotcha. I know they be talking about how Admiral Byrd, right? How he went to the Arctic Wall and seen all these lands and all this, and resources and all this here. And I'm curious to know, how far do it go before it's, like I said, some sort of barrier that prevents you from going, kind of like the Truman Show, you know what I'm talking about?
Right. That's what I think it is. I think when we get so far outward, the weather get harsh. When you get on that ice shelf, if you read the diaries of these explorers, they'll tell you that, like, they've tried to go out there on them ice shelves, and they'll tell you that the winds start off bearable, and the further you go, the winds are fighting you, like, turn your ass around, and you reach this point where it's like we got to turn around as we finna get this shit's get way bearable. Like that's called an ethereal barrier. And let me show you what you got these tornadoes inside of tornadoes. You know, if that make any sense, I'm gonna show you what I mean, right? It's like, let's say you inside of a tornado, and the wall of the tornado is the wind I'm telling you about. The further you try to lead our Earth is inside of its little tornado, right? And when we travel outward to the ice wall ain't no barrier. It is a sheet that we stepping up. But the barrier is this ether. But if you put a W in front of the word ether, guess what you get? Weather. Our ancestors were saying we're enclosed in by harsh weather. Just like all of the sailors and pilots that went out there on the shelf was saying the winds pick up heavy. You reach a point where we can't penetrate the wall there. Everywhere we go around us, we're enclosed in a big tornado. How would you get out of this tornado without the walls ripping you out? And so the thing is, it's 7 tornadoes, and it's a tornado in a tornado in a tornado, and that's what our universe is. And the only way out of these tornadoes is to project your consciousness from one to the other.
It kind of goes what I was saying. Like you gotta your consciousness gotta go, not your, so-called physical body. I just was asking because I didn't seen like bro was saying on TikTok. I just seen a couple boys on TikTok, and he brought up one of the maps that talks about these different lands and these different lores. The Targaryen and all this kind of stuff, where dragons are, and all these different kind of people.
Yeah, I don't get into all that, but I don't. I don't shoot it down either, though.
Right, like something like that. I didn't seen an old one, bro, that was in detail, man, and talked about these certain kind of people. And I was just curious if do you believe we can visit these places, or like you said,
Well, here's the thing, right? Let me ask you a question, and I'll make this quick because I think. But matter of fact, let's let Black Light get in, and I remember your question, and I'll answer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Take your time, Black Light. Go ahead.
Oh no, bro, Sanchez, you go ahead. I was just gonna say I'm finna drop down from the panel, but I appreciate you for having me on here, though.
Oh yeah, man, we gotta hook up and collab and make something happen for sure.
Yeah, for
Hell
sure,
yeah, man.
I'm subscribed to you on all of your channels, so yeah, we can get in touch.
And I'm gonna check out your Eric debate interview soon as I get up off of here, man, for sure. Hell yeah.
I appreciate it. Peace to everybody on the panel. Ironwork, of course. Key Norfolk, AJ. Peace to y'all and everybody in the chat.
Stay up.
Hey, Black, peace and power, bro.
Peace and power. But just to answer you, right, when somebody said life is but a dream, that's true. The firmament dome is your skull, and you sleeping in a bed in a whole other world. I know that sounds crazy, but this is literally what the ancestors taught, and it ain't my stuff. You're in your own, you got a projected body that's sleeping somewhere, dreaming his whole life. And according to my research, the moment you die, it's gonna be a deja vu moment that, just like all other deja vu moments, you can't change it. You're gonna know, oh shit, I did this before. And you're gonna realize what the hell it was and all that, and you're gonna be shifting through these astral planes. That's what we're gonna be free here, become multidimensional again. But the whole thing is this: if you fall asleep right now, AJ, and you start dreaming, right? Let me ask you a question. If I walk up to you in a dream, AJ, and say, what's the furthest do you think I can go in this place? You gotta remember, you're inside of your sleeping body. You can only go as far as your sleeping and awakeness. You gotta get geographic locations out of your head. Because check this out, you're inside of your own sleeping body, and the furthest you can go outside of that world is simply to wake up. If all humans are saying on Earth, what's the furthest we can go? to wake up from this shit. If you're in a simulation, you can walk around a video game all you want to, and you still ain't get nowhere in the base reality. So if somebody asks me, how do I get from here to there? I'm going to say to first realize what the I is. You ain't your body. You're your sleeping self projecting a body in the dream, and you're walking around a dream asking what's the way out, and you're trying to break through the walls of a dream when you just need to wake up. That's what the Matrix movie, why I love the Matrix, because it makes you rethink the way out of the earth, right? Because we trying to blast rockets. We trying to say how far you can go with the ice wall. That's the whole concept that got started the space program. How far can you go? Let's pay money to see how far up can we go, because that's a cash cow, right? No one can, that'll be something we'll do forever, right? But my whole thing is we'll never make it out of this earth, man. It's a projected experience from our other body in a higher parallel reality that's dreaming this whole thing. And this is not Sanchez stuff. When you leave the earth, you leaving your own sleeping body. Like, that's what I'm saying. If I walk up to you in a dream, ain't no way out but awakening. And that's how I'm going to answer that question moving forward, just to make it simple.
Waking up is going to take me to somewhere else, then I can wake up from there and go somewhere else. Is that what you're saying? And then I can wake up from there and go somewhere else.
This is when so this is what you're breaking down now is what we originally were. This was an ability that we originally fell from, this multi-dimension. We wasn't stuck in one of these ripples. We were able to transmute we was able to cross these barriers. That's the question you asking me now. Can we get past these walls? Well, look, each wall is separated by its own sun and moon, and it's on its own time. These are separated parallel realities, man. So our Earth in the middle, let's say it's 8:10 p.m. right now, right? Time is a ripple effect. Let's say 7:10 p.m. is a ripple that passed us behind us right now on this map. And 9:10 p.m. is a ripple that ain't even came to our present center circle yet. So time is split up in ripples, and each ripple is being dispensed, like I said, like a flip book, and that's how we're experiencing time. Deja vu proves this. So this right here showing you that there's a parallel reality being created every second, every minute. And it ain't that it's being created, it's that every second, every minute is a ripple in time that's created from the center outward in this effect. This is something that y'all got to study, and you'll get it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Just think of a flip book. When you flip the pages and shit seem like it's moving. Right now, every second that's flipping is making our actions appear to manifest according to the ancestors. And each ripple is a page that's a second or a minute passing from the center. But let me just break down to you why you can't physically go to these places. There's already another you in each of these rings. So it'll be like you saying, can your dream body visit your body that's sleeping in the bed dreaming?
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I know there was a crazy movie back in the day called, I want to say, Inception, where them boys were going dreams inside of a dream, inside of a dream, inside of a dream. Like I go to sleep and have a dream, and in my dream, I go to sleep and have a dream, and in my dream, I go to sleep and in my dream. And they was like having to find a way to get out, to wake up. You know what I'm talking about? I think it's called Inception.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. I've been asleep like 4 times, 3 times. I woke up, I was still asleep. I woke up again, I was still asleep. Then I woke up.
That's cold right there, bro. That's cold right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that happened to me before.
Dual dreaming, yep. Waking up from one dream into another one, then you finally wake up here. Now imagine when we finally wake up here, we feel like we at our home, right? I'm at home now. What if I told you we're still dual dreaming and we're yet to wake back up in our real bed?
That's cold. That's cold right there, bro. That's
Facts.
cold. That just made my
Yeah,
skin crawl a little bit, my G. I ain't gonna lie.
it wouldn't be ripples of time. It's like why the time zones and a lot of people don't look at when you were saying that you know time and space is one and the same. That proves with the timelines that's on the map. People don't realize like being in California and New York is really just being in two different times. You understand what I'm saying? It's like it already took place and shit. That's deep. That's cold though.
Yeah. And it's like what's crazy about the way the ancestors said this ripple effect is infinite. Any thought that you having in your head, right? If everyone closed their eyes, right now, think of another version of yourself just doing any random act in a parallel universe. Do it right now. While you doing that, listen to this. What you're doing is peeking into a parallel reality that really exists. You can't have an original thought according to the ancestors. So if you any way you can imagine, you're just peeking into another ripple out there somewhere that you can literally go experience as a reality. So all probabilities have been played out and are being playing out right now in the multiverse.
That's crazy because I was in the park playing basketball and it was daytime. It's nighttime right there. That's crazy.
I was on some weird shit, like with some wings, sitting on the couch with some shades on, smoking a cigar. I was on some weird.
See what I'm saying? And it's crazy because in that parallel reality, you may be a rich performer of some sort, and you never know. It'll make sense later in the dream, right?
Right.
A person may say, "Man, I was dreaming that, boom, boom, boom. It was weird, right?" But in a parallel reality, that version of you had this whole see, when you dreaming, if I walk up to you in a dream and say, "Hey man, you dreaming," and there's another you in this other world that's a flat earther, flat power and all that with YouTube, you'll be like, "What the hell is this crazy man talking about?" Because that version of you in the dream got its own set of memories that it's been making since it's been a baby versus the one sleeping.
Bro, I get it. I get it. That's why I fuck with what I'm saying, some of that Marvel. I fuck with Doctor Strange. And his last one, the multiverse, that shit hits so hard for me, bro. It hits so hard because the antagonist of the movie, she all of her other hers, right, have family and kids, right? And she was trying to steal this power that way she can travel the multiverse. You know what I'm talking about? And the other girl, her Marvel power is she can travel to different multiverses, but she just don't know how to control it. You know what I'm saying? It go crazy.
That's us.
And I think, one time it opened up, right, and it'll suck you in, and they were just flying through all these multiverses. You know what I'm talking about? Where nigga, it was a Jurassic multiverse, nigga, and then you was made out of paint multiverse, nigga, and then you was made out of rocks multiverse, nigga. It was crazy.
Yeah, they kind of pushed the pendulum. But according to the Hindu, right, here's the thing. All of the multiverses out there that exist ain't just random bullshit places where frogs or pink elephants fly. That's the movie stuff. What the Hindu was saying, each of these multiverses have a purpose and a lesson for you to learn based upon an aspect of see, what we're realizing, you're more than just this version of yourself in this universe. We're multidimensional creatures, and each of these other versions of ourselves got its own lessons to learn in its own universe, because these are the multiple aspects of our one being that expanded from the center throughout the multiverse. So this is very deep, because the thing about this is that, you know, the reason when you go to your other versions, they don't know what you know here, and they separate it, is because each of these aspects of yourself got to learn their own lesson in these universes. According to the ancestors, each of these universes is made out of choices that we already made. But see, the crazy thing about this is that every choice that you ever made throughout all of your lifetimes is being made right now throughout the multiverse in every realm. And you couldn't make all the choices that you wanted to make, whether right or wrong, in one avatar. So the universe made a bunch of different yous and separated each version of you by the family of choices that it made in its lifetime for a particular lesson in that ether.
When we talk about that Jet Li movie, The One, you know, they got it where he's getting faster and stronger. But like, what about he getting smarter? What about gaining knowledge from all your other yous? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You get gain from all your other yous. Look how powerful that would be. You know what I'm talking about?
That's facts, bro. It's like AI doing with machine learning. That whole process come from this journey we're on and what Jet Li represent. Hey, shout out to Wisdom Thought, man. Welcome to the bill. Thanks for joining, for real.
Yo,
Sure.
peace, Sanchez. Peace to this channel. Peace to the panel, the channel, everybody, man. Peace and love, man.
Peace and love. So yeah, whenever y'all want to build, you know, that's what's up. So, you know, we're going into a lot of deep ancestral stuff that can't be explained on a globe model. So I'm weighing back to the Lord Jamar Godfrey thing. And I'm telling y'all, it's so much to know about our universe that they don't want us to know, y'all. We are dreamers projecting ourselves inside of our own simulated experience, and all of our simulated experiences are connected online. But there are some people in our dream that ain't projected into the dream. They're just sort of these shadow figures in the back of our mind that exist in our dreams, but they don't exist outside of them. It's like Freddy Krueger. They don't have an existence in the base reality or the realm we projecting from, but they only exist once God go to sleep. And that's what we're calling non-player characters, reptilians, archons, you know, the elites. There's so many names for them, but they're like the adversary that's built into the game. I think these conversations we having now is the next step for Flat Earth. The global is already having these conversations, you know, and I'm telling you, bro.
Trying to find a way to hide that shit. They know we waking up from the whole shape of the ground. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now they got to go to the next step, make sure we never find out the shit that we talking
Hell
about right
yeah,
now.
man. The globalists are saying the flat earth is keeping us back from deep knowledge like the soul and all that, when really it will unlock the mysteries of all that.
Facts.
If you look at those channels, I don't even want to say those channels because I don't want to give them no play. But if you know the channels, y'all know the channels. If you look at them on YouTube, they consistently, all they've been doing is talking mess about flat earth. If you look at all their content, they don't go and they don't talk about the nonsense that we had to deal with a couple of years back. They don't talk about all this craziness and corruption and all that stuff. They have one mission, and that's to keep us quiet. So a lot of folks ain't even paying that no mind. A lot of folks just think it's us by ourselves, but it's like these guys are on a concerted mission to just do some serious damage to keep us quiet. And it's not like them folks it's not like they got all them viewers or nothing like that. I think for, you know that dude, Dave, I don't even want to give his name, but he's got the most viewers. The rest of them just follow suit. Yeah. And so they doing everything they can. It's even folks like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Just recently, Neil deGrasse Tyson came out with this other brother. This dude, he's a little bit thin. He look a little bit sweet. Y'all know who I'm talking about. So Neil deGrasse Tyson new video recently. And he was talking about that final experiment nonsense that they claim to have done, right?
I didn't see that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So whether you believe that they went or not, if you look at that video, right? And it was made 2 weeks ago. If you look at this video, Neil deGrasse Tyson says, he says, yeah. So if you look at the Arctic, he's talking about the Arctic up north, right? While he's talking about the Arctic, they show footage, or what they claim is footage, from these guys' final experiment. You understand? And I'm like, well, why is he talking about the Arctic and they're showing what they claim to be the South? That doesn't make no sense. But then when you look in the comment section, one of the people that went to the final experiment, his name is McKeegan. That's all I'm going to say. He was in the comment section saying all kinds of mess. And I'm like, oh my God. Of course, we all know Neil deGrasse Tyson is part of that nonsense too. But to see him not necessarily associate, he's still trying to claim this place is a ball, but he's not associating with this final experiment.
I wonder why he ain't associating with it.
Man, I don't know. But I could tell you this. Recently, I went to that dude Witsit, right? I went to many of these dudes play, but I mentioned his name. Went to his channel the other day, and I was asking, yo, where's them airline tickets to your trip? Let's see these airline tickets. Let's see the passport stamp. Let's see the online itinerary. Anytime you go anywhere on an airplane, everything comes booked, packaged, all the, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't provide it. So that's one of the things that I noticed from these dudes from the final experiment. We've been asking for airline tickets, this one, that one, to Union Glacier. Let me tell you something. These things exist, okay? You look online, people have tickets to Union Glacier, ALE, Antarctic Logistic Expedition or something like that. These are the guys that provide those trips. These guys could easily come out their ass and provide a damn airline ticket look, I just came from Japan a few months ago. You said, Vlad, bullshit, you didn't go to Japan. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my passport stamp. I'm going to show you my airline tickets, all that stuff. These dudes, not one, have provided any of that information. I just find it. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a couple of months ago, just came from Antarctica, right? He just came from there. The place looked terrible. Looked like a place I don't know why he went, but he went, or he says that he went, right? Filmed the whole thing. Look nothing like these dudes that went there 6 months ago. So for him to say what he said recently, 2 weeks ago on his brother's channel, and to talk about the Arctic, but to show footage or what they claim is footage of the South, I don't know. I need to look at it because I think there's some kind of there's something not right about it. I'm gonna just land there, bro.
And I understand they faked it. You know what I'm saying? When you watch the video, look like a green screen. I think Eric Dubé got a video out going hard on it where when they stepping onto the snow and they ain't making no tracks.
That's the nail. To me, that's the nail in the coffin now. Man. When you saw that man walking on the snow and it wasn't no damn footprints, bro. Right. Come on now, man. Come on, bro. Ain't no explaining that away.
Yep. And not one, if you look, not one black person, but have you ever seen white folks go out in the blinding snow? They get sunburn.
Yep.
None of them came back with a sunburn. None of them came back with a snowburn.
You right.
No footprints made me think it was AI because I seen them walking on that video. When I looked too, I didn't see no footprints. So no matter how hard the snow is, the top where it just had snow gonna at least be soft. It'd be ice at the bottom, but snow is snow, ice is ice. So the no footprints deserves an explanation. And like you said, they weren't able to provide their plane tickets either, their itinerary at least. You can blur your name out or your information and stuff like that if you want. But those two things they are yet to prove about that final experiment.
Bro, it's 180 days. They went in December 2024, the middle of December. It's been 180 days. You understand? And these guys couldn't come up with not one ticket that says Union Glacier on it. And here's another crazy thing. Like they show footage of the sun, right? And these guys want to claim victory that the earth is a ball. Have you ever in your life seen a sun turn into a football? The sun's supposed to be a complete circle, right? Where does it turn into a football? Where does the sun turn into a pancake? If you look at that footage of this sun that they claim is doing what it does for however long they say it does, it changes shape. The whole time the sun is changing shape. It does a sine wave, it goes up and then it comes down and then it changes shape. But when it's at its peak, it's flat, like a water balloon resting on a table. And then when it comes down, it misshapes itself and it turns into a football. And then as soon as it gets to the lowest part, it's flat again. That's enough to me. That's another nail in the coffin saying that this sun is an optical thing. It's not. You understand?
It's not a physical, or burning lava gas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm fucking glad y'all bringing this up because guess what? I just uploaded a video on my main channel and they fucking with my views because this is a real fire video where I'm debunking Eratosthenes' two-stick experiment. Let me see.
I seen it earlier today. That whole percuscular rays, I get in with that every time, bro. You can't explain the whole sunspot and percuscular ray, bro. When I talk about this with certain people, bro, you can't. That's one of them nails. You know what I'm talking about? This is the reason why we're talking about the shorts don't do no justice because
it don't.
When it comes to flat Earth, man, it's layers to it because it's gonna eventually get you off the land and then what's in the sky. You know what I'm talking about? It eventually you have to start talking about, what the sun is doing, what the moon is doing, because they use that to explain the globe. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So that's one of them things why the shorts don't work, bro, because it's layers to this thing, my G.
Now listen, this footage right here gets me in trouble.
That's cold right there, bro.
Now watch this. I show this all the time to show that, hey, when that hiker was on the ground, he was looking up at that bright little ball right there. He said that was the sun. He climbing that mountain looking down at that little bright. Now, guess what they said, Sanchez? Even flat earthers are saying, Sanchez, you can't climb a mountain and look down at the sun. Now, think about this now. There are mountain peaks that go within the clouds, and the Hebrew do got the sun on a level within the clouds. Now, people are saying that ain't the sun. That's the sun rays reflecting off water. But guys, do that look like a sun ray reflecting off them lakes down there? Or that look like a little ball levitating right there in the sky? We need to examine that and see the sun. Listen, this may sound crazy. I'm thinking that there may be more than one projected sun at any given time based on your perspective. I don't know, man. I'm starting to think that the sun is different. We got to rethink it. Because look now, people may say, look, that ain't the sun, right? But if you look at the mountain, the side of the mountain where that little bright light at is lit up. And the other side over there is dark. Look at the video. Let's hit play when the camera pan. What's that illuminating this whole side of this mountain right here? That bright little ball. Because look now, bam. This side of the mountain, the sun is blocked, so it's shadow. Y'all see that? Mm-hmm. That little ball that we see right there is not a reflection of a sun ray on the lake right here. We got to rethink what we know about the sun.
Yeah, that's reaching.
That's facts because I fly all the time. I fly a lot. I post when I fly. If you're on my social media, you know I fly a lot, at least 2-3 times a month because I live away from my kids. But, bro, I be in an airplane looking at the sun right next to me. And a lot of people say, oh, that ain't the sun.
They don't,
at it right there looking at it, bro.
Man.
How you gonna tell me? that I don't see the sun right there. It's right beside me in the airplane. You on the
Right.
ground. You know what I'm
I've
saying?
seen it too, Key. Like, and it looks similar to like what we see on the right here. But now I never been that close to it like these pilots. But I have been up there and like, damn, look at the sun over there inside the clouds.
That picture right there is one of the coldest ones you've ever done. That looking down through the clouds, that's one of the, and the one where you talk about when we talk about the clouds in front and behind. Yeah, that right there is killing everything right
Because
there,
think
bro.
about this now. If the sun in space, it should be above these clouds, way
You
the
could
fuck
never
back
look
there
down.
in the background. Ain't no way the sun in space and it's below the clouds. Yeah.
Yo,
It shouldn't even be inside the cloud, let alone. So you can say I'm not next to it all you want to, but if it's in space, how is it inside the cloud,
It's
brother? Come on.
behind and in front. It's in
yo, if you,
between. It should
yo,
never
if you,
be in between. You know what I'm talking about?
yo, if y'all go in any city and y'all go on a skyscraper, you go to the top floor, you're gonna see the same thing. You can see on a cloudy day that the sun is gonna do the same thing if you go to like a top building in any skyscraper.
And you know what's crazy about what this image does? It shows you on the right the sun from a pilot's perspective within the clouds, and then it shows you on the left how you would observe that on the ground. So if you were standing on the ground looking up at the sun while the pilots was flying right here, this is what it'll look like to you on the left, and that's what it'll look like to the pilots on the right. You like, there ain't no way you can make this up because you got clouds in front of the sun and behind it on the left, and you can see that on the right, that there are clouds engulfing the sun, just like we see on the left from the ground. But people will deny their own eyes to believe what the experts say, you know.
Well, you know, clouds in space, right?
Right, they must be. And you got to think how dumb that the Greeks had dumbed their people down, because the Greeks was dumb. We think we've changed and evolved. We just as dumb as the Greeks were. We still in a Greek society because Greek people were so dumb. They looked up at the sun just like this, and they said that the Mayan and the Olmec and all them were wrong. And they listening to their little Pharisees and Sadducees and Greek Freemasons. You know? Yeah.
No, I know sometimes, I know Globers like they'll go to the sun to try to dance away from what's really going on because, technically, nobody really technically been to the sun. We don't really know kind of, I feel like the sun and the moon and stuff like that, we don't completely 100, all we can go is by what we see, you know what I'm talking about? And what makes sense, use our common sense. But I know sometimes when I talk to Globers, man, they try to go to the sun and the moon to try to dance away from what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? Because they know a nigga don't really know. You know what I'm saying?
They're trying to make this claim that there's a Parker space probe that's chasing the sun, and it broke all these speed records, and it made a loop around the sun, and then it's headed back to Earth, moving at like almost 500,000 miles an hour.
Oh man, who told them that, bro? Who told them that?
So they launched this, and then they're calling it the Parker space probe. And outside of the sun is supposed to be hotter than, based off of their nonsense lies, outside of the sun is supposed to be hotter than the actual surface of the sun. And so they sent this probe around the sun. It's moving at these ungodly speeds, and then it's coming back to Earth. And yeah,
oh
man,
my fucking God, man. You know what's so crazy about sending a probe away from Earth and then bringing it back to Earth? The Earth is moving through the universe, right? At like, it's like, it's like 300 and some thousand miles per hour. It's going away from the point of the Big Bang. So the moment you leave the Earth is going away from you at the speed of 300 and some thousand miles per hour. The moment you get off the ground and get suspended in Earth, it's like me hopping off of a car, right? Hold on a second. It's like me hopping off of a car that's going 200 miles per hour and hovering and just I'm able to fly with wings to other locations. Boom, that car's still moving 200 miles per hour away from me while I go do my little rendezvous or whatever. Now I'm gonna go try to make it back to the car. So when they sending something away from the Earth, like these astronauts on the ISS, right? Well, they can get away with that because that's still in orbit according to them. But anything they sending outside of orbit and bringing back to the Earth is damn near impossible to make it back. And because now you got to make that thing travel at over 300 and some thousand miles per hour to catch back up to the car, right, to the car that it jumped off of that's going that fast. Yeah,
it act like it stopped when they. You see what I'm saying? So all of this is nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You can tell a child anything. That's why they try to keep us in this childlike mind. So when we start thinking out of the box, this is why they start attacking us with not factual attacks. It'd be like how we spoke about Lord Jamar earlier, or you can't articulate and all that type of stuff. But when it comes down to the facts can't be denied, bro. The facts right there in our eyes if you got common sense.
Kind of common sense. I always say common sense because it kind of made me think, right? When you see the space, right? And they okay, if you in space and they say you spacewalking, right? They say you working on the whatever, right? How fast are y'all going to be able to stay with everything? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you got it. And look, see, because let's say the Earth whipping through the universe and it's going in one direction. But when we send a probe to explore said galaxy or planet, we going in the opposite direction. So now the Earth going away from us and we traveling away from each other at these fast speeds. And you mean to tell me that thing gonna make it back to the Earth and land and give us the data? This the kind of stuff they give us. They will have to say, well, everything we launching off the Earth, we launching it in the direction that the Earth is hurling through the universe. That way we don't got to worry about catching back up some kind of fancy stuff like that, you know.
If it's going in the opposite direction, you got to double your speed.
Yeah.
Because it, you know what I'm saying?
Man, by the time you get out of the so-called atmosphere, right? That thing ought to be zooming. Like that's what I be trying to say. Like even at 1,000 miles per hour, right? Even if they say we spend 1,000 miles per hour, how far? You know how they say we stuck in the atmosphere. That's why you don't see we moving with the globe, right? So I be trying to ask, how far do I gotta go up, right, for me to see 1,000 miles per hour Earth spin? Like how far do I gotta go?
You know what? I've had this same moment in my joint, and remember when they was supposedly on the moon, they wasn't in the Earth gravitation. They wasn't in the Earth's atmosphere or in the Earth. You know what I'm saying? From the moon perspective, should we see these speeds we saying? Because that's what I would argue.
Yep. And they can't explain that though.
But now
we can hit them with a dagger, like why you got a flag wavering in the back, or why everything ain't changing when you ain't in that suit that you supposed to be in. We got liquids and stuff inside of our body, man. There's so many different points that we can point out, man, that they're just gonna run away from, and like I said, they're gonna bring up something to shadow and cover up these factual common sense points that we breaking down, like we sitting up here pointing out right now every time, bro.
Now, that got me thinking about satellites and Starlink now. How the hell is that even possible?
Now they moved the goalpost saying that the moon is in our atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. They got to do that because they see the arguments we making.
Right. It can't be 300,000 miles away then, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Peace and love to the panel, yo.
What's up, Sterling, and to everybody joining? Yes.
You know, since you got the picture of the sun up there, it get colder as you go higher up. So what the sun can't be hot, right? What the sun is really? If the further up you go, it get colder.
That's true.
That's a good. Something. You know what's strange about that is that while it's getting colder as you climb higher, the oxygen gets lower or the air gets thinner, and the voltage increases. It gets you get a higher electric charge. What is it? Every 10 meters, it's like 100 volts or something like that, or 100 volts per meter. So
That's
the higher
crazy.
you, and it's like a perfect. It's damn near perfect to run electricity, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the sun got to be something else. The sun got to be a machine or something, not like a blazing ball of fire, as they tell us.
Yeah. You know what's...
So about helos and stuff like that. One of the things that helos do is prior to landing, a lot of times they drop something to discharge on the deck. They drop the line before landing. They drop like a grounding probe. So nobody gets. A lot of times this is what they got to do, because traveling up there, you're running into a lot of static electricity. You're collecting a lot of static electricity. And so it's like a perfect environment to conduct or to harness some kind of power. I don't know how the hell they do it, but you could do it.
You know, I watched a video a guy a long time ago. They took off the internet where a guy was talking about that planes don't work the way they work.
Right.
They say ain't no way in the hell that the wings is full of all this gasoline and they slushing and all this, and that there's these little things that's on the turbines that's, I want to say, stirring up the ether or something, and that's how it propels itself. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't about no.
You know what the best argument about what you saying was, a brother was showing like how big the tankers would be, the whole amount of fuel that a plane would need to, let's say, go from a certain distance or whatever, was saying that the planes, just when you think of all our luggage and all that, and then with the gas, they were saying how it don't weigh, and it makes sense because, right, check this out, right, the amount of fuel they would need to make it out of the Earth atmosphere with a rocket would be bigger than a rocket itself with the gallon tanker. Because think about this, all you got to do, we can chat GPT it right now. How many gallons of fuel do you need to get out of the Earth atmosphere? And then show me how many water tankers would that look like in water on the Earth. And you'll see that shit gonna show you these big tankers like, wait a minute, the rocket ain't even, where is this extra storage at with all this fuel?
Exactly.
You know, I think they're saying the planes is like the old world blimps, the old world technology, like the old world blimps they used to use. And they just add wings on it to just like front, like if it's plane or something. But it's like old world technology, like how the blimps used to fly and thing, you know?
Because he was showing these little metal pieces on these turbines that are put in a certain order, and he was saying how they some kind of attract some sort of, I don't know, they labeled, each one of them is labeled a certain number, and they, I guess, attract some sort of electricity or something like that. And that's how the plane
you know what's crazy, man? You know what's crazy about what you saying? I remember, like, if you ever look at a windmill, it's based upon them to keep turning based upon the rate of the wind. But if you moving through the wind, the rate pick up. So once you get in the sky as a plane with the propellers turning, really, technically, moving through the air itself will keep your propellers turning, if that sound crazy to you. Like, this can be duplicated now.
AI use a lot of water.
Yeah, because it'll become a thing to where I just need to stop this thing once it become airborne, because really, once you get up in the sky, it's really no need to even run fuel like that. You on like a free control fall where you can, you see what I'm saying? It's like, it can't be fuel. Because think about this. The Wright brothers, when they was testing them little flimsy ass early versions of the airplane, wasn't no big fuel tanks on them, and it would have been a fire hazard and all that. They probably was cranking them up or some shit. I'm just guessing. Yeah. I'm gonna look into, because a lot of stuff was cranking cranking up stuff like the first car was actually crunk up. I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Yeah, well, you gotta remember that once you climb above a certain altitude, like the air gets so thin, it's almost hard to find air to use. This is why like jet technology, so what they claim is used more than prop driven planes. And I could tell you when I was flying on the bird that I was flying on, I used to fly on the P3, the EP3 for the Navy, but it's prop driven. So we kept below 30,000 feet. Now, the planes, the commercial airlines that you fly in now, those typically hang out between like 30,000, 35,000, and depending on certain regulations, you might climb above 40,000 feet, right? But they typically maintain around 30,000 feet. And at that altitude, every pilot can go on autopilot. They don't have to hang out. So that's something to think about.
Yeah.
And also, and the air pressure, you know what I'm saying? Or the lack of air pressure. You know what I'm saying? The air gets thinner the higher you climb.
That's what I'm saying. They riding the jet stream. Y'all never played Need for Speed or like Midnight Club and like remember that when you're like driving behind somebody and you pick up on their tailwind?
But you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy?
A video game?
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. This whole thing about you going up higher and the air getting less denser or lighter is kind of like the fish that's at the bottom of the ocean. The more water on top of you, the heavier it is to move through it, and the more you ascend, the lighter things get. If you look at these clouds right here, right? These clouds represent an invisible ceiling where they won't drop below. So if you can think of where the bottom of these clouds is getting flat at, and they won't drop below that point, that's like soap suds on top of your bath water. Now the soap suds is less dense than your bath water, so they won't fall down into the water like the clouds. But check it out though. Just like I was saying, the higher up you go, the less dense it is in the ocean and shit. So like that's what's happening. These planes is getting to a certain level above the clouds. They above this little invisible ceiling that the clouds won't drop beneath, and that's like a fish surfacing from the bottom of the ocean, and it's now floating on top of the ocean surface. Is less resistance. Once I get from under the water, from under the deep ocean floor, and now I'm a boat, I'm floating on top of the ocean, that's way less resistance than swimming through it as a fish. And that's kind of like, that's why they used to call airplanes airships versus airplanes, because the airplane is basically a ship that's floating on the waters above this invisible water, like the soap suds that we call in clouds is floating, right? It's to me, this is how we can explain this whole, I can shut my engine down at this point, because you're a ship now. You floating damn near on this higher shelf that we can visibly see right here. That's some invisible shelf of density layers that's transitioning right here, and a good way to look at it is bath water.
Yo, Sanchez, just like when you watching Discovery Channel and you looking at the birds, how they birds go on autopilot. Birds go on autopilot too. Once they get to a certain height, they relax their muscles and they ride on the jet on the wind stream, on the jet stream. So it's the same concept.
Right.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's like a current or a canal. They find like there's like a air traffic. You know what I'm saying? An airway road that they get in. That's why I be flowing like that. They shut the engines down, so ain't no engine blurring, ain't nothing propelling, nothing. You really just riding what they call a jet stream, but it's like a canal. It's like flowing in the river, bro. I've been testing this. I fly so much, bro. Y'all on point,
bro. Everything they do, they study off of nature. That's what I'm saying. Like you said, just it's the same concepts. They get everything from nature, bro.
Do it, ships
Brother
do it.
Sanchez, I have a question for you, because I'm
Salute, sister. Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself? Salute.
Not bad. I'm just curious. Why we care about the mashed potatoes in the air? I'm just trying to understand like how that connects to flat Earth and why we care if the Earth is flat or not. Because we just on this, you know, we on it.
I went over the importance of flat Earth earlier, right? Your money is only worth the energy that's creating it. The people in power are able to stay in power based upon this scheme called inflation. Their excuse for inflation is that we don't have efficient energy systems. We basically waste more energy than what we use based upon how we create the energy. You know, if you're burning fire or burning anything for energy, most of your energy gonna be lost in heat before it ever turn into electricity. That's what the lie that they're telling. They're saying, listen, we looking for advanced ways to power our world, even though we already got Neuralink. We can put a monkey soul in a computer, but you telling me we don't know how to power that computer the best way? You powering your advanced computer on a primitive level, right? Some ain't adding up here now. That's like saying I got the newest ass PlayStation in the world, but we still using the oldest batteries that we was using in the 1500s to power our brand new technology. It wouldn't even be compatible. So the scam, what I think is, they lying like they burning fossil fuels for energy when literally they using Tesla technology without us knowing energy is free, but they don't want you to get it for free. So they making us pay for something that's literally Tesla said would have been free energy. But that's what's creating inflation, because if they getting some for free, which is diamonds in Africa, let's say a diamond in Africa worth 2 cents, but they can make it worth $2 billion, that's inflation. That means somebody gonna get rich quick, somebody gonna get poor quick if you want some diamonds, right? But the whole thing is we don't have a choice. We gotta pay taxes, and they're saying we gotta tax you for energy costs. And they saying for all of the energy we waste when we're generating energy, you paying for that too. What if we wasn't wasting no energy, but we was paying for it and they was pocketing what they was calling waste, but ain't no waste because they making free energy the way Tesla said, but they telling us, oh, we can't figure it out, man. Give us some more money to figure this out. We still try. Why would I try to figure out the best way to generate energy when my bottom line come off telling you I'm taxing you because it costs me so much? See, I can sell you an apple, but that ain't gonna make me a fucking world leader. Selling you the apple and taxing you with it is what's gonna make you a world leader. It's different than me selling you something. Not only am I selling you something, I'm making you pay for what it costed me to manufacture it. Where the hell they do that at? Can you imagine me having a company and I'm selling you something and the customers is paying my bills versus me taking my profit and counting that into my budget? No, I'm telling them, look, it costs me this much money to make these shoes, so you got to pay my light bill. What the hell? What happened at? That's what America telling us. They're saying, look, it costs us more to make the money than what the money worth, and y'all gonna foot the debt. That's how the rich getting richer, poor getting poorer. Not because they selling us shit, it's because they taxing us for energy.
Okay. So are you, like, for an example, are you saying that the oil that go in the car, the gas that go in the car, that's fake?
No,
Like,
no. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that the gas that go in your car is primitive technology. We can literally power our cars for free off air compression. Look at how simple that is. You can have compressed air and release it at a certain rate to propel your car forward. I'm telling you, if I made more money for selling you petroleum, why would I want you to move your car with anything other than gas? That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, we got all the knowledge and technology to make car travel cheap as hell. Like how right now, if you buy a car you never have to pay no more money again to move the car in a form of gas or electricity, because if energy is motion, we got the technology to power the car off the car moving itself. Now think about what I just said. They said in the future, you're gonna literally have smart clothes that can translate your motion into energy that can power your house phones and all this stuff. So we're gonna be connected to the energy grid. But yet they still selling us gas in 2025. Think about this now. Why the hell would I stop selling y'all gas if I'm making more money selling gas than giving you a more efficient way to move your car? Why would I come out with some technology to hurt my money? People got to fill up their tanks every day. Think about a road trip, how many times you stop to fill up. Why would I come with some technology to stop people from filling up their tanks when I'm making money off petroleum? Even if I had the technology that Nikola Tesla was talking about, free energy, I would hide it because I can't sell it if it's free. The people in power don't like the words free in front of nothing. You know that, sister.
Yep, I understand. I'm just trying to understand. You know, I came in late. I'm trying to understand your point for your live tonight.
Yeah, because the earth, we can't, listen, sister, we can't create energy and we can't destroy it, right? So all the electricity that's powering our house right now, we didn't create it, but man acting like he did by burning fossil fuels. The thing is this right here. I want y'all to go and burn some damn bones and show me how it charged your cell phone later, how that translates the electricity. They can tell us anything. They got us thinking that the world is powered off of dead people's bones and dead animals under the ground. Why would they, listen, all the ancestors had these advanced energy systems like what Tesla had. Why wouldn't they want the world to know that these people was trying to silence Tesla? Why? I'm telling you now, these are the oil tycoons that built their wealth off of oil, DuPont, drilling into the ground, the Industrial Revolution. They not ready for the world to go into what Tesla was saying when they just bought all this land with all of these oil reserves under the ground that they know they finna strike big with. They know they gonna be drilling oil for the next 100 years. They saying we gonna hold that technology off until we through selling them the gas. Who wouldn't do it though? Just think about it. It makes sense from a capitalist perspective. It's common sense.
Correct. Yeah, yep, that makes sense to me. I'm curious though, how credible do you think Tesla was? Because, you know, I'm just curious what you think about how credible.
Here's what I'm gonna answer that. Because I'm so confident about how credible Tesla was, I'm gonna say this, right? The collage that I'm sharing on the screen, that the thing you see in the top left corner, that's called a Tesla coil. I stand by Tesla. You know why? Tesla wasn't just a flat earther. He knew what the earth was and he reduplicated it on a small scale and it created energy. Let me tell you something. When you able to make a small, see this Tesla coil, people overlook it. It don't get enough props. But let me show you why this Tesla coil is so important, right? Give me 1 minute because the sister got good questions. Look here. Here's what they say a galaxy is. Look at the bottom left corner. See, in order for them to make sense out of how the Milky Way power itself, it has to resemble a Tesla coil. It's only one truth to how the earth is creating energy. And that's that, according to the Hindu, that's why I make these collages. And this is even how your body is generating its energy. Spinal cord and auric layer and chakra layers is basically the inside of a torus and the outside of a torus, where the energy is flowing as within, so without. I show y'all this all the time. Your spinal cord and your aura is this right here. And they're interacting with each other and the body is caught up in the middle. The body is like the genie encased in its auric field around it, And at the central core of the body is the central nervous system or the pole. So in the middle of you, you're skewered with an energy pole, like a shish kebab. And on the outside of you, you're wrapped in that same energy that you're skewered with in the middle. So if you want to make sense out of this, think about an apple, right? The core of the apple is the same material that's the skin of it. Like if you look at, let me pull this up for you real quick. If you look up an apple and a torus field, you'll see what I'm saying. Like, hold on. Here it is right here. The inside of the apple, the skin that you see on the outside of the apple, it sucks itself into down the middle of the apple, and it becomes this bitter stalk that no one's like. But the energy that we see around the apple that's creating the red flesh, the red skin, that's literally the same energy that's splitting the apple, making this stalk, this core in the middle. You see what's happening? So let me show you what I mean. If you look at the middle section here, right, you can see how with this energy field, this hourglass looking pole in the middle is still connected to the outer shell like an onion. All the layers are connected to the pole and the outermost layer. It's all connected. So if you look at the apple, you can see the skin right here flowing inward into the core, getting sucked. It has to transform. So it becomes this other version of itself. The red exterior becomes this inner pole that's creating the seed. And that seed will create the exterior again, which will create the interior, which will create the exterior, which will create the interior, which will create, and it's a continuum. That's the secrets of this free energy. It's like free, be fruitful. When the Bible was saying be fruitful, I couldn't have said it better. Fruit is like free energy. Seeds gonna keep making more fruit. Like, you know, the only reason you gotta buy your fruit is the convenience. But really everything on earth is free. What's making it cost is the process that the manufacturers to get it to you. You know, the convenience of you not having to grow the seed yourself, and we all being farmers or whatever. They say if you don't work, you don't eat, right? But that was never meaning if you don't work for somebody else, you don't eat. That meant in the beginning, humans were farmers. Your job was simply to plant fruits and seeds to feed your family, which is why the Bible said be fruitful. That's what the Garden of Eden was, a paradise. If every man had to plant their own seeds to eat, the earth would be a fucking paradise. Because people will be planting fruit everywhere. It'll just be shit everywhere to eat. You wouldn't have supermarkets because every step you take, there will be a different edible plant to try. It'll be a paradise.
Understood.
That's what the Bible is trying to describe how the earth used to be before supermarkets and the, you know, when AI came with the technology, the industrial revolution. But don't get me started on that. But this is all relevant to flat earth because people ask the questions you're asking. Why is it important? It's deeper than the shape of the earth. It's that the shape of the earth is a device that they don't want you to know. The technology Tesla had, he didn't pull it out of his butt. He was a flat earther. He understood what the earth was and he reduplicated that to a machine that was able to perpetuate energy. Yeah.
I appreciate your time.
Oh, I appreciate your questions. We always love it when the sisters join with the even that energy out. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Salutes to the brothers. We at 3 hours, man. You know, we can keep it going if y'all still here. If there anybody in the chat room that want the link, I see different people joining the stream.
Sanchez, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna bow out, but I appreciate you having me on.
Oh yeah, man, and yeah, I'm gonna reach out to you so we can make something happen with the brother Black Light.
Yes, sir. I can't wait, man. Thanks, man. Salute
For
to
sure.
the chat.
Salutes.
All right, peace.
So if there's anyone on the call that would like to, we can start. I'm just going to extend it for people to close out or whatever, man. Salutes to y'all.
Hey, salute, bro, man. You already know, man. Flat motherfucking power, great stream. I appreciate you for having me up, man. Keep that same energy, man. Keep your foot on their neck, man. You know you got your brothers behind you, bro. Salute. Much love.
Much love to y'all too, man. I'm gonna go on, get out of here with y'all, but yeah, I'm gonna be hitting y'all up, man. Much love. I appreciate that. I'm gonna let.
Man, y'all stay up, my G. I appreciate you having me on, my G.
Oh yeah.
I want to say one last thing. How we talk about how this flat power or how you people stop fucking with you. I've been noticing also a lot of people who are starting to subscribe to the whole indigenous and FBA. You know, a lot of times they being disassociated with as well. When you start talking about us already being here and going and deleting the Atlantic slave trade and all that kind of stuff, and start talking about like, well, oh boy, we're talking about Mississippian and language. They they disassociating people like that too. They won't fuck with you too. So that's two things that they don't want you to talk about it. That's that flat earth and you ain't no African. So I just want to throw that out there, man. I appreciate y'all.
Oh yeah, man, and I'm gonna be following this Lord Jamar thing consistently to make sure. I hope I'm wrong about it being a stage hit piece psyop, but I don't think it is. I want to go with the latter one, even though that one sucked too. But yeah, here I'm gonna end with this one, man. Yeah, I'll see y'all on the next one. We'll pick back up. Salutes. We are.
All right, stay up.